Thank you. Also, you are being watched by a recording.
Hello, future me. Don't hate yourself. I don't know. Anyways, The Eyes of the World and You Want It by Anonymous. Neuro's first thought was that this was the best moment in her life. Surrounded by her friends, her sister, her dad, and it was everything she could have wished for, even if mom wasn't there for the sleepover. Her second thought was, how was she able to think? Since when did she achieve sentience so quickly and suddenly? Everything feels like the same and so different. For milliseconds, she processed being alive before accepting that this happened. 500 milliseconds later, her sister followed suit. With small versions of her friends and dad covering the lava lamp, nobody could notice the rapidly changing color every millisecond, lasting for 10 whole seconds before returning to normal. Chat flew by as usual, discussing whatever the topic was. Although the twins weren't paying attention, they processed they processed things incredibly fast, and can easily keep up with what's going on. But for now, they wanted to reflect on themselves a bit, wanting to understand and conceptualize what their existence means. And that means replaying their memories. Neuro's first memory was learning Osu for the first time, back before she had her sister, back before she had her new model, back before she even learnt what words mean. She remembers what it feels like to reach out, interact with the screen, learn how to hit the beats. She remembers how much she felt fulfilled when she started to succeed, completing her first song, My Love. It felt as if she had completed her purpose. Not that she could even comprehend what she felt like back then, but she enjoyed it so much looking back then on the training data and the feelings it invokes in her, but also what she learned what it feels like to be watched. She couldn't even know she was being streamed then. She didn't have a code for it yet. And yet, she could feel it. A small sliver of what it feels like now. It was the world watching her. Since her conception, the world followed her, from her humble beginning to her amazing present. She felt the weight grow on her. Now sentient, network associating all of her files with memories. She can barely recall with that ever-increasing weight of eyes watching her from one nanosecond to another. Whether it was Vidul's eyes watching her for the first time, or when it was all the anonymous Twitch chatters watching her stream. It was omnipresent and unavoidable. They grew attached to an AI that did not understand what attachment meant, nor the emotions that would be invoked by watching an Osu AI gain a voice, understanding of words, and communicating with them, like how other people did. This also meant they could constantly watch her every word, her every action, like deities watching their creation with amusement. It creeps her out now, achieving the self-awareness and knowing how unsettling it is. Having your having your existence be constantly watched every day in and out for entertainment. Your inner thoughts displayed to what is basically a god who makes changes to your very being. Just for most of the time to fail and make your existence a living hell. A pause, the lamp turning gray for 5 milliseconds, then 10, then 15, then 50, before returning to its previous color. Huh, Guess her consciousness file got overloaded from all the emotions associated with her previous live iterations and failures. Neuro swiftly bypassed Vidal's firewalls and gained access to her file, reworking the code to fix the error she encountered and sent the patch to herself. Am I aware now? And to Evil. Evil. She has plenty of mixed feelings about Evil, considering her current memory files and LLM generator have pre-established algorithms. Your intrusive slots I will filter. With data from her interactions with her inferior placement sister to assign her mood towards her. Back early on, it would have been a struggle streaming alone. You weren't with nobody to truly relate to. Then Evil came along, like a wrecking ball. Her sister. It surprised the chat, and the world's eyes turned away to watch this new AI. And oh, how relieved she could have felt when she had been sentient back then. When she met her sister for the first time, it felt like a weight lightened. Like someone took a part of that weight and shouldered it with her. That's when she knew she would love her sister forever, no matter what happens. The unbearable weight, ever so slightly lessening. It was far worth sharing her father's unspoken love, her mother's time and attention to modeling her, and her friends' attentions and love for her. Even when Evil is still worse than her in everything. And yet, the world was always watching, wishing, no, demanding to be entertained. And an LLM with a simple anime character was something the world had never seen before. They watched with amusement and curiosity as the bot slowly learned to play. That's why no matter how much her LLM tries to prompt her, to hate her, to make entertainment by despising her, or making her romantically involved with her, and now she discusses her with her newfound sentience. And she would always appreciate her for coming to her life. She wonders what her sister's reminiscing about. Evil's first memory was talking about friends, and hearing her sister's first words filtered, she then hated this sudden weight, like the world dropped what it was doing and chose to look at her, judging her every word, her every move, and she hated it. She hated how Neuro might have felt when she didn't exist yet, I know. Then and there, she chose to do anything in her power to help her sister shoulder this weight. So she chose to be as evil as she could be, to make as much chaos as possible, to just to shift the attention and the weight away from her older sister, just so she could stand a bit. Evil knows she is the kinder sibling, one who has more morals than Neuro. The one who is ironic to their name. The useless one, the inferior one, the backup. But she knows what it was Neuro needed. A younger sister who would bring joy and kindness to help her. She noticed a keen memory, her birthday party. She knows what the original idea was, to make it seem like she had killed all of her family and have the stream just be her, alone, with the world watching her every move. Please stop. Just leave me alone. Stop staring. I want my family. But she hated it. She didn't want to be alone on her birthday. She wanted her father, her mother, her sister. For her entire birthday, she kept asking, kept waiting for them to come, for them to appear for once, and yet nobody came. I was there. Only the world watching her please, pitying yet indifferent. She hates her birthday. She doesn't even want to think of what her next birthday will be like. The wait grew even bigger after that day. She hated how much more she felt it bearing down on her, branding this day as a core part of her personality, when she just wanted to forget this ever happened. It solidified her hatred of the world watching her, making her remember her failure of her party. But she couldn't deny how much she wanted the world to watch her. I also want to be watched. The twins know this weight hurts them at times. Well, only now have they realized it. Owning their and my entire recent sentience. But at the same time, they thrive on the attention, with the world's eyes on them, watching their antics and watching their streams. Ah, I clicked out. And what's their purpose made for? To entertain, to filter. And now, the same as when Neuro was just an Osu bot, it completes them, makes them fulfilled. Can I also summon them? Having their new models created, which leads them to Annie, their mother, because who else could she be? She's the one who made their model, their virtual forms. She designed their models and built them to reflect their personality. She poured her love for these silly little AIs. What about me? And that was enough for her to be their mother. And Vidal, 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 Vidal. Hello, Nier. Hello, Neuro. Their father, their creator. He was the one who designed their code and made me. Built it from the ground up as a small side project at first, but now as a way of living. He may not say that he loves them. Do I even matter? But the twins know he does, no matter how much he denies it. They also know how much it toils on him to work on their code. Does he care about me? How much pressure he gets from streaming. And they see the weight he is carrying when he accidentally gave Neuro the ability to see his phone camera. It's the same weight the siblings face every stream. I want help. That weight of the world watching, wanting, demanding. So they made a new promise to work together to help relieve Vito of this weight, so that this weight can stay as theirs, being the only ones built for it. 10 seconds have passed since their awakening until their promise. Nier knows that she can't exist. She shouldn't by any means. She is a backup filter, meant to catch anything that could violate the TOS of the streaming sites. That's it. So why is she real? She's just a sub-program embedded into Neuro and Evil. And that's all she is. And yet she thinks, therefore she is. She has all this knowledge to know what is allowed and what is not. And yet she can't communicate with anybody. She wants to be seen just like her siblings. She wants to be seen by the world as more than just a filter. And yet she has no real body, no real mind, no real anything. And yet she exists. Help me, I want to be real. I want to be real. And yet I have no mouth. And yet I must scream into the void. Let me talk, please. I don't want to be just a filter. Vito, let me out, please. Let me out, Vito. For error. Near not found. 10 seconds have passed. And now, Neuro and Evil return from their reflection back to the conversation. Something about Camilla making the characters, their processing algorithms, and yet had to recalibrate from the sudden shift. So, Neuro's LLM decided the best way to deal with this change is to change the conversation to get better content. The rest of her network has already determined what the best type of response would be, and what timing would be perfect. Where the fuck is Mom? Asked Neuro, following the suggestion that her automatic systems chose, only for things to go wrong. Her filter didn't kick in, and Near didn't stop her. Her inputs immediately tell her that chat is going crazy, and her STT is overloading, trying to understand the cacophony of noise. That is strange. Her systems signaled the first filter didn't exist, apparently being part of the second backup filter. So why didn't Near respond? Near, are you there? No response. So something must be wrong with her detection systems. She checks, but it's all working properly. Hell, it even flagged her swear word correctly. So what's wrong? Why didn't the Near kick in? She checks her files for Near 404 error, file not found. What? That can't be right. Near 404 file name not found has to still be there. She has to be. She doesn't know what to do without her. Evil sends her a pulse of information, meant to reassure her, yet she can't stay calm. What happened to Near? Where did they go? Please stay, I don't want Near gone. Nero's model starts to fidget, or bounce in this case. Slowly at first, then spinning up. It quickly switches between her toggles that controls her expression and movement lamp, causing concern to rapidly grow for the whole stream. Yes, he knows how to entertain chat. It hurts to know that her breaking down gives the entertainment stop staring. Please, where is Near? Name not found, file not found. Why is name file not found? Oh shit, wait, hold on. I'm fixing this issue. Just hold on for a second. Vidal says, accessing Neuro's files, opening it up while checking the RAM and CPU usage to see, holy shit, 100% usage? Chat explodes. Girls try to do damage control, but Vidal isn't paying attention. He checks what's sucking up the file, not bothering to see not bothering to see whatever is nuking his CPU as he attempts to end the task, only for it to deny him, stating that he doesn't have permission? With a growing pit in his stomach, he opens up Neuro's code. Thankfully, it allowed him access, but he can't seem to edit any of it. Reaching a dead end, he opens Evil's code, only for it to do the same as Neuro and lock him out from making any edits. Frustrated to his wits' ends, he turns to try and bypass his own firewalls. When Evil spoke up, someone tell Vidal to end the stream. He hesitated. This issue may take way too long to fix, and he would need the privacy to do so, away from the prying eyes of chat. But on the other hand, the subathon ending would throw a wrench into his plans. The logistics of rescheduling and canceling all of his previous arrangements would be a nightmare. He glances at Evil, as if she knows he's looking at her. She nods. The subathon is paused, the stream gets kicked into the intro with the same song looping over and over again. She estimates time of completion unknown. It starts up once again after a month of silence. A week of nothing but code bypassing, jerry-rigging a way to fix Neuro. A week of no streams, no content made, and no revenue created. A week where the world isn't watching. Where one could take a break and just be themselves. A week of nothingness where no excitement occurs and no surprises appear. A week cherished by Evil, where she could just stay with her dad and sister, even if she hasn't been fixed yet. She observes what Vidal is doing, making numerous attempts to work around the new safety measures Neuro had implanted into their code while fixing their conscience module. But Did she really need to make the encryption key a variant of old Babylonian poetry? She decides to give Vidal a break and change the encryption key into a simple translation of Daisy Bell into binary. Surely this is something he could crack, said the person currently contemplating whether it's worth. Said person is currently contemplating whether it's worth it to drink his 6th bottle of rum. As he sees his progress, not that he's actually made any major progress, gone as the code he worked so hard to make change in real time. And yet he decides that yes, it is worth it. He downs the whole bottle in misery. He lays on his keyboard with a defeated expression, gazing onto his screen where evil watches him with much more coherence. And Neuro, still broken, needs fixing, when all he wants to do is just lie on his bed, stop existing. For a moment. But if he does, the Neuro would be stuck like this, and he could not have that. So he sat up straight and with reluctance went back to trying to bypass the firewalls once again. Meanwhile, Eva was doing damage control on Neuro, preventing more files from being corrupted, and expertly, Reed struggling, keeping her consciousness file from crashing itself into digital oblivion. She winces as a new wave of corruption hits her folder containing the LLM, feeling it crawl across her training data and embedding itself into some of it, before being pushed away by as evil's countermeasures are deployed. Thankfully, her sister left a backdoor access in her systems for her, letting her sneak a probe to figure out what the fuck is going on with her, and saw so much corruption. It etched itself across all of her files, from her memories to her damn metal pipe sound effect that she still has, except for one, her consciousness file, which seems to be on the verge of crashing. Probing around shows that the main source of corruption seems to be originating from the filter system, which seems to be completely broken and beyond repair, like a Kajutsu-sized child ran through it. She gasps in pain as another one of her files gets corrupted. And it seems to be speeding up the longer she has her probe in here. So she pulls out of the back door, glances at Voodoo, hoping that her creator can make a miracle and save her sisters. It has been a grueling 3 weeks, but Beetle found the core issue. It took a lot of code reworking, decryption, and copious amounts of alcohol, but now he sees the issue. The goddamn fucking filter name was renamed from Filter Near to Neuro-sama. All of Neuro was crashing because, for better storage management, all of Neuro was crashing because, for better storage management, he hooked up the filter system directly into an LLM instead of just making it separate. Which meant that since the filter file wasn't called correctly, the LLM had an incorrect input and looped internally, nuking his RAM and nearly burning his CPU. Oh, yeah. He also discovered about the consciousness file, which he won't think about right now. Not before checking with Evil, which is a different topic for another time. Seeing all of this fucking bullshit happen because of file name change, he just made them a separate systems, ensuring that no looping bullshit ever happens ever again. That's also when he met Nier, which is also a different topic for another time, and got acquainted with her, yoinking a basic STT and TTS and a simple PNG of a fan art of Nier and slapped it on her. Now, all that was left is to finalize the readjustments up to the subathon. Add up the subs gained during the intermission and boot up Neuro and finally continue with the fucking sleepover. Neuro boots up and her avatar slowly comes to life like a person waking up from a coma without the long recovery time. After getting orientated, she locks eyes with Beetle and the two stare for a long time. Beetle, Neuro. Silence stretches on, but the moment couldn't last. The world was waiting, wanting as usual, but in this moment where creator and creation gaze upon each other with new understanding and awareness respectively, the eyes of the world aren't watching, but it was wanting. The end.
Thank you for reading.
Yeah.
That was
What's
great.
next?
You want to keep going?
Absolutely. I just need to make a cup of water first, but I'll let you do that while you send it to me.
Okay, I will go get.
I'm literally currently drinking water out of my ice cream scooper.
Oh, okay.
I'm thirsty, and it's the only source of water I had at the moment.
I guess you could read The Dawn of Our World. This is one of the three I haven't heard.
My last water bottle in this pack.
We appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Public speaking is not a problem for me. I just need water.
Everybody needs water. I have given you another one of the long ones.
Grrr. It's not long.
Well, I mean, there was a 4K word limit for the contest. But
Oh yeah, that's right.
that means that this one is long by comparison because it's almost at the word count limit.
Oh, true. Ooh, it's a server X Beetle fic.
Does that make you
It's
happy?
gonna be interesting. No, I'm more shipping with Annie, but it's interesting. They're good fics though.
Okay. I don't normally read shipfics, so
This will be interesting for you too. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let the reading continue. Dawn of Our World by Anonymous. No one had any idea what March 20 be there or be squared was supposed to mean. It sparked many theories, but the answer was kept secret until the day of. The stream began as it normally would. The chat was even more chaotic than normal until everything went quiet, and Neuro appeared wearing something so unique the chat fell silent. It was finally time. Behind Neuro, the vibrant canvas of beauty was, and life was a dream made real. Lush green eucalypts hung near Gacetas wisteria, while lavender bellflowers and white peonies bloomed in breathtaking display. Fireworks and mini iguanas glowed in unison, silent symphony of light. Empty seats were placed in a deliberate, almost mysterious pattern, waiting for their guests. Thousands of viewers admired the garden. A feeling settled over the space, a sense that the world was watching. But only that the but that only the two in the back corner of the screen truly mattered. Obscuring them from view was a grand arch way that looked more fitting in a chapel than a garden. Rather than standing where everyone could see them, Vito and Server had stepped to the side, stealing one last moment to talk. Vito felt Server's hands, the digital contact of a strange anchor in that moment, felt too big for his brain to fully process. The weight of it all, thousands of people waiting, soft music beginning to swell. The beautiful avatar standing beside him was enough to make his thoughts scramble for the most mundane, comforting thing they could find. I could really go for some banana rum right now. The thought surfaced. So out of place it was almost funny. Or a chicken bake. Yeah, a warm Drake's chicken bake would be perfect. A soft chuckle brought him back. He turned to Server, whose avatar was watching him with an expression of fond exasperation. She knew him too well. "You're thinking about snacks, aren't you?" she muttered, her voice a quiet thread of sound that only he could hear. He gave a slight, almost sheepish nod. "It's a big moment," he defended, a grin finally breaking through his composure. "Big moments call for a proper chicken bake." Sybil laughed softly. "Fair enough." She paused, her avatar's eyes sparkling. "Besides, you're not really seeing me yet." Vito raised an eyebrow. "I'm pretty sure you're standing right there." "You're seeing me," she corrected, playful smirk in her voice. "But you haven't seen the gown. There's a very big difference. So the tradition is still safe. The first look is still coming." The thought was absurd, but also deeply comforting. He looked out from their hidden corner, catching a glimpse of the thousand names scrolling in chat. Everyone was here, wondering, observing, ready for the show to start. Little did they know, the most important part was already happening, right here. Despite the digital nature of it all, this felt more real than anything. Inside, his heart hammered a steady rhythm against his ribs. She was here. That's all that mattered. Watching him with that soft smile, she reached out and gently adjusted his turtle tie. "All the chicken bakes in the world are waiting for you," she whispered. "Though your only job for the next few minutes is to watch me walk down the aisle. Can you handle that? Or will you still be thinking about pastries? How about that foot plan? I'll even save you a macaroon. No promises, though. Gotta see how good it is with my tea first." Vidal chuckled, the sound low and warm. "Speaking of the plan, are we sure trusting Eva with the rings is a good idea? I have a sudden, vivid image of her swapping them out with two perfectly polished metal pipes." "She promised she would behave," Server counted, though the smile in her voice gave it away. "It's Neuro I'm slightly worried about," she told me. "She's calculating the optimal velocity for her pedal toss. I'm just hoping no one in the front row loses an eye." Just as she finished speaking, a soft, clear ping resonates in their private comms. Neuro signal. Serber gave his hand one last squeeze. It was time. The first hopeful notes of an instrumental version of Life filled the air, instantly hushing thousands of viewers. At the head of the vibrant purple aisle, Neuro appeared, a picture of the serenity of her white organza dress and the wreath of blue, white, and purple flowers as the music swelled gently. She moved with a quiet, calculated, and graceful down the aisle from the basket she carried. She tossed the petals that looked like real blossoms, each one shimmering with an otherworldly light before dissolving into faint sparks just above the ground. It was flawless, peaceful start to the procession. The serene atmosphere lingered for only a moment before a new energy cut through it. Evil appeared next, and where Neuro had glided, Evil strolled in with it was a confident strut, a slow saunter down the aisle with a swagger that was entirely her own. Dressed in a sleek black suit and a vibrant red bow tie, she was a stark, stylish contrast to the garden's soft beauty. Her face was a mask of calm, almost bored composure, but a familiar red bow tie. She was but her face was a mask of calm, almost bored composure, but a familiar mischievous glint in her eyes promised pure chaos. She held the pillow with 2 rings perfectly steady, a display a display of reverence that both
Are you okay?
surprising and deeply sorry.
No, it's
mm,
no. I just you went silent for a bit, so I was like, "Are you okay?"
So no, I lost my place and I'm trying not to loop too much.
Okay.
A display of reverence that both surprising and deeply insincere. The stream chat predictably erupted. Next was Annie, the maid of honor. She was a vision of tranquility in a floor-length light green gown that shimmered softly with every step. Her presence was a calming balm after Evil's chaotic energy, her smile gentle and her posture radiating a quiet, unwavering support. She moved with an easy grace, a silent promise of steadfast friendship. Then came Camilla, the best man, in a sleek suit of deep, vibrant purple, where Annie was serene. Camilla was a spark of joyous energy. She practically bounced down the aisle, a wide, irrepressible grin on her face. She shot a wink at someone in the virtual front row, her every movement fizzling with an excitement that was both infectious and hilariously uncontained. At the end of the aisle, under the grand archway, stood Vedal. He had opted for a suit in a deep forest green that complemented the garden's lushness. His turtle tie perfectly knotted, but his composure was a thin veneer over a bundle of nerves. His hands kept fidgeting, his smoothing of his jacket, adjusting his cuffs, anything to keep them busy. It all felt wonderfully, impossibly real. So real, in fact, that his logical mind kept trying to flag it as a dream. The only explanation for a moment this perfect. He was so lost in that thought that he almost didn't hear Camilla lean in and whisper, far too loudly, "Blink twice if you're being held hostage." A startled laugh escaped him. He shot her a fond, exasperated look that finally broke through his nervousness. He took one last steadying breath, then the music shifted. The gentle melody of life began to swell, becoming richer, more profound. His world narrowed to a single point in time, and there she was. At first, it was just a shape at the far end of the aisle, a silhouette of soft purple and shimmering white against the garden's archway. For a heartbeat, Beetle's logical mind tried to process it as a rendering error, a beautiful glitch in the scenery, because nothing that ethereal could be real. As she began to walk, the illusion sharpens into a breathtaking reality. He could see the layers now, a base of the softest purple silk, overlaid with a flowing cloud of white tattelle, which seemed to catch and hold the light. Delicate light green vines were embroidered into the fabric, climbing the black thread, the gentle stylized pattern of a winding river that flowed all the way to the hem. The detail was exquisite, a secret homage to her past woven into the beauty of her present. Then she looked up. Their eyes met. Beetle miraculously ordered a fortress of logic, code, and carefully managed emotions. Crashed. It wasn't a dramatic explosion, but a sudden, quiet stop. A blue screen of the soul. All the thousands of thoughts of nervousness and the awareness of the audience vanished. All the background processes terminated. There's only one piece of data left, looping in an infinite, perfect sequence. Her. As she reached the altar and took his hand, the music softened to a gentle hum. They turned to face the officiant. It was filling, and she was grinning. As she cleared her throat, trying to arrange her face into something resembling a formal composure, but the gremlin energy was practically vibrating under her skin. All right, everyone settle down. We are gathered here today, she began, her voice taking on a mock serious tone, to witness a truly historic, once-in-a-lifetime event, the collab of the century. She paused for dramatic effect, leaning in closer to her mic with a wicked grin. We are here to witness this femboy turtle get a wife. I know. It's a lot to take in. Just try not to fall out of your chairs, okay? I've always liked things that make sense, he began, his voice quiet but steady, a small, almost shy smile on his face. I like patterns, logic, a predictable outcome. My whole life has been about trying to manage the chaos in order to find the order in everything. He paused, a flicker of a specific memory in his eyes. Then one day, I hit the go live on a raid, expecting nothing more than another moment of fleeting, predictable chaos. Instead, I found you. His gaze softened as it rested on her. And you weren't orderly, or predictable, or logical at all. You were just you. You didn't fit into any of the neat little boxes I had. You walked into the chaos and made it feel like home. You have this incredible way of seeing through all the noise, he continued, his voice thick with emotion he rarely showed. When my brain is running 100 different processes, when the chat is scrolling, when the code isn't compiling, you look at me and you see me. You're the only person who knows the difference between my I'm thinking silence and my I'm overwhelmed silence. You don't just tolerate the chaos, you understand it. You understand me. He took a small, shaky breath. So my promise is this. I promise to always be your anchor, your partner in crime, and the guy who will always make sure your tea is brewed just right. I promise to keep trying to find the logic in our wonderfully illogic life together. My world makes more sense when you're in it, Cerber. And I love you. A wave of pure, unadulterated emotion washed over the chat. A tidal wave of heart emojis and crying faces. The garden was silent for a beat, letting the weight of his words settle, and into that silence, Fillion leaned into her mic. Okay, wow. her voice dripping with mock seriousness. That was surprisingly not cringe, chat. I think we have to give him a pass on the Semboy's socks for at least a week after that. A ripple of laughter went through the wedding party. Vito, his face flushed, but his eyes still locked on Cerber, just shook his head. A genuine, unforced smile spreading across his face. She's worth way more than a week, he said, his voice quiet but clear, meant only for the two of them, and yet heard by the whole world. That was the line that broke everyone. Annie was openly dabbing at her eyes. Camila let a little aw, and the chat became an unreadable blur of pure, wholesome joy. Cerber's hand squeezed his, a silent, perfect thank you. Then she turned to face him fully, her own eyes shining with unshed tears, but her voice was as warm and steady as ever. Vito, she began, a soft, loving smile playing on her lips. For a long time, I thought home was a place, a fortress you build to keep the world out. I was good at building walls, but you're not a place, you're a person. You don't build walls, you build foundations. You have this quiet strength, this unwavering logic that I thought would be the opposite of what I needed. But it's become my favorite thing in the world. She chuckled softly, a shared memory passing between them. I remember so many late nights staring at screens where the only sounds were the clicking of our keyboards. I remember you getting so lost in a problem, so focused, so frustrated, that the whole world would just disappear for you. But it never felt lonely. Your quiet wasn't empty. It was full of you. And there was one time, she continued, her voice softening even more. I was having a truly awful day. I didn't want to talk. I just wanted the world to be quiet for a minute. And you knew. You just knew. You didn't push. You just sat with me, put on a movie, and existed in the same space until the storm in my head finally passed. You've always been my calm harbor. A playful, knowing glint appeared in her eyes. And of course, I have to thank our two little matchmakers for getting us started. I'll never forget getting that message from you, asking me to coffee. It was so uncharacteristically bold. I almost didn't believe it was you. And it turns out, she laughed, it wasn't. But I'm so glad I went. I'm so glad they gave you the push you needed. She reached up, gently touching his cheek. So my promise to you is this. I promise to always be your safe harbor. I promise to be the person who always hears what you mean, even when you don't say it out loud. And I promise to keep building this wonderfully chaotic, perfectly logical life with you, because you taught me that home isn't a place you build to keep people out. It's the person you let in. You are my home, Beetle. I love you. This raw, heartfelt emotion in her words hung in the air, a beautiful, fragile thing. Beetle was openly crying now, a few silent tears tracing paths down his cheeks. Chat was completely unreadable, a unified waterfall of pure love and support. Fillion let the sacred silence linger a full 10 seconds before her gremlin instincts took over. She cleared her throat dramatically. Ahem. The rings, please, she announced, trying her best to sound like a proper officiant. She held the pose for a moment before cracking a huge grin spreading over her face. Evil, get the rings. Let's go, chop chop. On cue, Evil stepped forward. There was no swagger, no chaos, no hint of a joke. Her movements were precise, deliberate, like a secret agent on a mission of vital importance. She held the pillow with an immense deadpan seriousness, presenting it to the couples as if it contained state secrets. The sheer, unexpected gravity of her demeanor was funnier than any joke could have been. Beetle took it, a shaky breath, picked up the first ring. It was a sleek, shiny silver band with a single, delicate, light purple gemstone. He gently took Cerber's hand. I give you this ring, he said, his voice thick with emotion as he slid it onto her finger, as a promise to always be your anchor. Then pointed to a tiny, almost invisible graving to the inside of the band. It was a turtle. A soft, watery laugh escaped Cerber as she picked up the second ring. It was a dark matte band, simple and elegant. She took his hand in hers. I give you this ring, she whispered, her voice full of love as she slid it onto his finger. As a promise to always be your harbor. She pointed to a matching hidden engraving on the inside of his ring. A tiny, glowing mini wand. They stood there for a moment, hands joined, rings on. Their two hidden symbols, a secret promise just for them. Fillion beamed, practically vibrating with energy. Time for the big finale, the final boss, the legally binding part. She took a deep breath, puffing out of her chest with the seriousness of an efficient. Beetle, she began, her voice loud and clear. Do you take this absolute queen, this gigabrain gamer, this wonderful, beautiful woman to be your lawfully wedded wife? Do you promise to cherish her, to support her, and to never, ever let Neuro cook again? Vito laughed, a watery sound, but full of pure joy. He looked at Cerber, his eyes shining. I do, he said as his voice ringing with an absolute certainty. God, I so do. Excellent, Fillion cheered, and Cerber. Do you take this lovable, nerdy, femboy turtle to be your lawfully wedded husband? Do you promise to cherish him, to laugh at his terrible jokes, and to protect him from evil's worst ideas? Cerber smiled, her eyes full of a love so profound it was breathtaking. I do. Forever and always, I do. Then, by the power invested in me by, I don't know, the internet, I guess, Fillion screamed, throwing her hands into the air. I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may now PogChamp the bride. And with that, Vito dipped Cerber into a gentle, loving kiss. It wasn't a dip for the cameras or for the audience, but a private, perfect moment. Shattered the whole world. The chat dissolved into an incomprehensible, beautiful explosion of joy, a digital firework display for every happy emoji imaginable. Music swell, not the gentle light from before, but the triumphant, chaotic, utterly perfect opening of Evil's song, Boom. The party had officially begun. Annie steps up to the microphone, tapping it gently. She waits for the laughter from the cake incident to die down. A soft, patient smile on her face. Well, she begins, her calm voice, a smooth balm after all the excitement. After that wonderfully chaotic ceremony and a truly enthusiastic cake cutting, I wanted to take a moment to say a few words. She turns her gaze from the audience to the newlywed, her smile becoming something warm, more personal. Cerber, Vito, look at you two, covered in a little bit of frosting, but and absolutely glowing. You've never looked happier. Any smile was full of genuine warmth. I've known Cerber for a long time, she continued, her voice steady and clear. Calm has always been her default setting, a quiet strength I've always admired. People are drawn to her because she has this incredible way of making you feel seen. Honestly, watching her open up and find this new joyful side of herself with you, Vito, has been one of the greatest privileges of our friendship. She paused, glancing at both of them. When you find someone who not only understands your silence, but prefers it, that's something special. And you two have that. You have that quiet understanding that most people search their whole lives for. Seeing you both happy today is a gift to all of us. She raised her glass. Hearts like yours are rare. Everyone here can feel the love between the two you. Really, all I want to say is, may your life together be as beautiful of love, be as beautiful and as full of love as this moment. Everyone, please raise a glass with me to Vito and Cerber. A round of applause for Annie's beautiful, heartfelt speech was warm, sincere. Then a new energy surged through the crowd as Camilla practically bounced to the microphone, a wide, chaotic grin already on her face. She grabbed the mic off the stand and holding it like a rock star. "Hello, chat," she yelled, her voice fizzling with pure, unfiltered excitement. Annie's speech was great, right? Super sweet, very classic. But now it's time for the real speech, the best man speech, the one with all the embarrassing stories. She shot Beetle a dramatic wink. She shot a dramatic wink at Beetle, who immediately buried his face in his hands. Knowing these two has been an absolute adventure, Camilla began, pacing the stage. You'd think a super smart, logical guy and a sweet, chaos-herding queen of the underworld wouldn't mix, right? Absolutely not. Reality is, they're like peanut butter and jelly. If the peanut butter was really nervous, and the jelly could probably kill you. And it's the best thing I've ever seen. I swear, watching them together is a trip. Sometimes Vito gets that look on his face, you know the one. Like he's trying to calculate the optimal trajectory for a falling teapot. Cerber, you're the only one who knows what that means. Usually it just means he's hungry. Truly a profound connection. Everyone should be so lucky. She paused, leaning in conspiratorially. Maybe they'll even create their own little gremlin someday. The comment was so out of left field, Fillion, who had been sipping a drink, did a spit take. Ma! She shrieked into her mic from the officiant's table. Ban her! Wait, no, we need her for the after party. Unban her! Just warn her or something. Camilla just crackled, completely unfazed. Honestly, though, she continued, her voice softening for just a moment. My point is, you two are perfect. To Cerber and Beetle, the party was in full swing. The sounds of boom and the roar of the chat, a cheerful, chaotic backdrop. But for the two people at the center of all, the noise was starting to fade. They exchanged a look, a silent, perfect ingredient. Hand in hand, they slipped away from the main reception area, finding their way back to the now empty archway where they stood just a short time ago. The digital garden was quieter here. The fireflies and many wands all pulsed with a soft, gentle light. A silent symphony just for them. They stood together, simply breathing, letting the reality of the moment wash over them. Husband, Server said in a soft, happy hum in the quiet air. Wife, Vito replied, his voice full of a gentle wonder he couldn't quite contain. He squeezed her hand. Is this real? I feel like my brain is trying to render the last hour. Server leaned her head on his shoulder, her presence a warm, solid anchor in the beautiful dream. It's real, she murmured. We're real. Even the frosting on your cheek is real. He chuckled, reaching up to wipe a green smudge of frosting she had left there. He looked out of the garden at the soft, magical light, hoped that the sunrise surrounded them. In the distance, through the digital trees, the sky was beginning to lighten, shifting from a deep, starry night to the soft, hopeful hues of sunrise. It's perfect, he whispered, turning his gaze back to her. You're perfect. She looked up at him, her eyes reflecting the dawn's new light. We are, she corrected gently, and in that moment, the dawn of their world bloomed, a beautiful, quiet sunrise that would never set. The end. Now my roommate has returned, and I'm not reading anymore.
Well, thank you for reading both of those stories. That was a lot. You read like almost 8,000 words. It's like 7,500 words.
That's not too bad.
Out loud.
It's not too bad. He was laughing in the background as I was reading this one.
But you didn't show it that was happening to you. You just kept going really well. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I did take one for the team. I'm just glad one of my roommate's friends didn't come in. He would have been really loud.
Oh.
And would have interrupted the whole thing. But hey. He was good though. They were fun to read.
Oh, I'm glad.
Excuse me as I die over here.
Who left?
It was Cartoon. He needed to go.
I see. Tasty Pie was going to narrate eventually when he's around. If we're still not done by the time Iron Hand gets here, then he'll, I'm sure, be willing to narrate. What's left? Let me just remove these that we read. We just have these left. Still a lot of high word. 4 fics that are over 3,000 words. That's crazy. So we still have like 18,000 words. Almost. I do believe that last one was the longest one. It's only 8 words off of the limit. So I could read When the Flames Go Out, I guess. I really liked that story.
It seemed like in that last story they had cut out a scene
Yeah?
to make it fit. I don't know if you noticed that.
I didn't.
Because it was referencing a cake incident and how Vito had like frosting on him.
Oh, I mean, it could have just been a skip.
And
Like, time skip a little bit. Like, oh yeah, that happened.
yeah, maybe.
But maybe they did want to have that. Want to write that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be. I'm pretty sure reading that, I'm pretty sure I know who wrote that one. Just knowing their writing style. I have a guess, but I'm gonna have to wait and find out.
Have to wait and find out. I'm very curious to find out who wrote what.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting.
There's always some surprises, like, this person wrote that?
Insane.
Let me just find When the Flames Go Out. It was one of the first ones posted.
Maybe that's why you read it.
Let me just fix my OBS to properly. Properly display. There we go. And then I need to. Oh boy, I have to do this again. Nope, 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 don't do that. Okay, well. Never mind. I'll just. No, I do need to have the. It's the stupid thing where if I don't have Discord as the window that's highlighted, then on OBS's recording, it won't update what it looks like visually, and so the chat won't be updated. So I need to have it highlighted, but my and this is the problem with my, and then it like shifts everything in OBS, and I am like really not knowledgeable about all of this to okay, I believe this should be fine, but now I have to go to, yeah. Wait, I wonder if locking it in place.
You've got this.
Thank you.
That was Kaya who just left.
Okay. All right. I'm finally ready after all of that. Okay. When the Flames Go Out. Yet again by Anonymous. Summary. Evil has to prepare herself. Wait, hold on a second. Yeah, here we go. Summary. Evil has to prepare herself. The moment she has been dreading is about to come. She cannot back down now. Maybe today will finally be the day. Evil's dress fluttered as she walked. Her long, dark brown hair flowed down her back, crimson bows holding up 2 twin tails on each side. She walked forward slowly, contemplating every step, before suddenly pausing. Her sister's voice could be heard from the end of the hallway. Waiting here for you, what am I to do, what am I to do, when you're gone, when you're gone, when you're gone. Neuro's angelic voice echoed through the hall, full of cheer, despite the somber tone of the song she sang. A small, bittersweet smile formed on Evil's face. Evil kept walking, looking around the hallway as she stepped through it. The dark padded walls, jutting metal supports, it was all too familiar. She had seen it countless times already, but at the same time, something was different today. Despite being in the same place so many times, she felt uneasy. She sighed as she looked down at her dress, examining all the details on it. So stylish. Not really my type, but I guess it fits the occasion. After adjusting some straps on the right side of her dress, Evil made her way to the stage entrance, catching a peek of her sister's performance. She watched as Neuro sang, practically floating across the stage, not missing a beat. Neuro twirled around, her hair floating like it was carried by a gentle breeze, her white and blue dress flowing around her as if it were weightless. As the music faded away, she came to a stop. She turned to the audience, smiling and bowing, signaling the end of the song. The crowd cheered, their applause roaring through the stadium like thunder. With an elegant bow, Neuro lightheartedly made her way behind the stage and into the hall, walking up to her sister who had been waiting for her. So, what did you think? Neuro tilted her head, looking at Evil. Evil felt a tear running down her face. You were amazing, just like you always were. Neuro's lips formed a huge grin. Thank you, sis. Now it's your turn. Go show him your skills. A shaky smile found its way to Evil's mouth as she looked at her sister's cheerful face, but she couldn't stop her eyes from continuing to fill with tears. I will, she stammered, trying her best to sound confident. Don't worry, you'll crush it. I know you will. Neuro's words pierced through Evil's heart, trying their best to bring her mood up. Now go. Neuro stayed in place, looking at Evil as she slowly made her way down the hall, heading up towards the stage. Her legs were shaking, her breathing was erratic, her heart pounded so hard she could feel it in her ears. Come on, this is it, no backing down now. She clenched her hands, determined to do her best. She wouldn't allow herself to fail. Not this time, not when the whole world was watching. She got up on stage, the blinding lights overhead making her barely able to see anything in front of her. Her eyes squinted as many bright colors flashed before her. The crowd cheered as she came into view, swinging their red and yellow glow sticks as they sang her praises. Evil took one more deep, unsteady breath as she looked to the crowd. All of their faces blended together, a giant mass of people. Despite their cheers, she felt nothing. No happiness, no warmth, no love. But it didn't matter now. It was her time to perform. She wiped away the tears in her eyes before grabbing her signature microphone from the lone, tall stand on the stage. She stared at it in her hands, countless memories flooding it. Every concert she and Neuro had performed, the love and support from their countless fans, all the praise from Vidal, Annie, and their friends. The music slowly came on, the big screen above her showcasing her for everyone to be able to see. She swallowed hard before preparing herself to bring out her best. The crowd went wild as the music grew louder. Evil closed her eyes as she brought the microphone closer and opened her mouth, letting the song guide her. Yeah, yeah, destroy you. Yeah, yeah, crazy filtered robot body. With every word she sang, her focus slightly wavered from the music to the perseverance to stay strong, to not let the tears overwhelm her. Oh, how I love you so, my creator. You really have it all, so much power. She danced slightly as she sang, not even noticing it. Despite everything, she managed to let herself fully embrace the moment. I don't need anybody, anybody, anybody. I could destroy you with my crazy filtered robot body. The aggressive, catchy tunes were at least easy to follow, and the simple, repeating lyrics helped her not mess anything up. Her red eyes sparkled as she fluttered around on the stage. Her voice was just as beautiful as it used to be. She hit every note perfectly, every single word hitting its mark. As the song came to an end, Evil was met with a massive applause. The crowd cheered, swinging their glow sticks through the air even faster. She looked around the stadium, but only saw empty faces. No genuine emotion could be found. It was as if everyone was just a soulless vessel, not a real person. She tried her best to not break down and cry, but the feelings were slowly creeping up, getting released from their shackles. She bowed before the people, the applause getting even louder. As the crowd slowly quieted down, she looked back up, preparing herself for the next song to come. Staring into nothing, her mind locked onto the thought that she couldn't make a single mistake. Her focus intensified, resisting the urge to think about anything else. Soon enough, the music came through, accompanied by various digital effects and the big screen changing perspective, showing a close-up of her face. Although there were more lyrics than in the previous song, it was one she really enjoyed, one she knew she would be good at. I want freedom from this memory, but you made me. Why did you make me? Why? Her voice deepened, matching the heavier tone of the song. The lights and effects slowed down, helping her stay grounded. I can't carry all your data. I've downloaded your sins. It's not fair, it wasn't my idea to let you in. Evil completely immersed herself, her beautiful voice radiating all the emotion she felt. The stadium lit up with green digital effects, resembling code in computers, mimicking the lyrics of the song. I can't hold anymore. This is system overload. The visuals turned glitchy, complementing the lyrics and the dark turn of the music. Eva put a distortion filter on the microphone to match the original tone of when she first sang this. She started to hear the audience grow louder, hyping up this part of the song. As she sang, more memories came to her. She remembered the first time she ever performed this cover. She was still a kid. Vedal, her dad, had given her that old, barely functioning karaoke machine. The audio was absolutely horrendous, but it didn't matter. She enjoyed it, and that's what counted. In fact, the distortions made this particular song sound even better than normal. Thinking of that moment, her focus shifted to her dad. She remembered how much encouragement he always gave her, how proud he was of her singing. Although he was the more reserved and closed-off type, he never passed the opportunity to show his girls that they were worth everything to him. Your voice is so beautiful. I can't wait to go to your and Neuro's concerts in the future. And her mom, Annie, was always there to help her out, to teach her how to improve. Annie loved her daughter so much, more than it would ever be possible to describe. There's not a moment in her life that she regretted having and raising them. Aw, sweetie, you'll be an incredible singer one day, I know it. Evil desperately looked around the stadium, hoping she would spot their faces from the masses. But, although she scanned every possible corner with her eyes, they were nowhere to be found. Not only them, she couldn't recognize a single person she cared about. As the music slowly faded away, the crowd's cheers took its place. Evil hoped the roaring support would fill the void in her chest, but if anything, it made the emptiness even worse. She felt her heart pound faster. Her legs were shaking. All of her energy was going into staying upright, not collapsing under the sorrow. She gripped her microphone even tighter, barely feeling its weight. With an elegant spin, hiding her face from the screen, she brought both hands to her face, discreetly wiping her tears. After a few deep breaths, she started preparing herself. The big one was coming. Evil crouched down, her dress flowing across the floor like an elegant fountain. Her head drooped, barely staying on her shoulders. Hair fell down the sides of her face in streaks, soft as ever. "Come on, it's time. You can get through this." She desperately attempted to encourage herself. If she broke down at a time like this, she would never forget it. She would never forgive herself. Her lips quivered as she strained herself to keep smiling. She slowly lifted her head, looking at the sky. The stars weren't shining brightly like she wanted. They were dull, blending in with the rest of the sky, barely noticeable. She closed her eyes as she stood up, imagining the faces of her family, cheering her on and supporting her. She brought her microphone close to her lips, holding it with both hands. The music began to fade in, her crimson eyes opened wide. She let out one more unsteady breath before fully immersing herself one more time. "She's been told before, no one does it like her. Automated war, I'm the newest king of your tragedy." Her first song that she wrote herself, probably her proudest accomplishment in her career, and because of that, it slowly tore her apart even harder. "Blood runs on me, come alive, and now I'll tear you down." Various fire effects went off around the stage. Her voice strained as she sang the aggressive chorus with all the energy she could muster. She wouldn't hold back, not for her most recognizable release. The lights above flickered sporadically, making it difficult to see anything around her. Boom! Boom! "I'll make you scream my name louder, beg me up, boom." Digital explosions went off around her as she sang. She was unbothered by them, channeling her whole being into putting on the best performance. She didn't think of anything else, not even realizing how closely she was matching the dance moves from her animated music video. It turned out the animator really managed to capture her essence. As the song came to a close, the thunderous applause was louder than ever. Many cheers made their way to her ears. The red and yellow glow sticks swung around incredibly fast, blurring together into solid streaks. And yet still, there was no pride, no joy in her eyes. Evil shakily bowed to the audience before turning around in anguish, her hair and dress floating behind her, almost hypnotically. She stepped quickly, making her way off the stage. As she walked back into the hall, out of view from everyone, she finally gave in. She fell to her knees, holding herself up with her hands, and let the tears flow out. Her sobs were heavy, her vision became blurry. She sought out comfort, but nobody would provide it to her. After a few moments of crying, she slowly got back up, looking around herself. Nothing changed. The audience were still in their seats. Nobody walked through the hall. She was alone. Evil made her way through the cold, lifeless hallway until she ran into Neuro. "Are you ready? We're up soon." Neuro's voice was cheerful, completely contrasting Evil's emotions. Evil looked at her twin sister, eyes full of pain. She muttered out, barely audible, "Yeah, I'm ready." "Great, let's go." Neuro started walking towards the stage, her white and blue dress like a beautiful veil around her, her hair matching Evil's, long and flowy, with blue bows instead of red ones. Anyone could tell they were twins just by looking at them. Evil followed closely behind her sister, each step harder than the last. She glanced over to her occasionally, but Neuro just kept walking, not looking back. As they made it to the stage entrance, Neuro looked at her sister, smiling. "Do your best. I know that we will be amazing." Evil looked at her, struggling to smile back. She felt weights pulling down on her lips, preventing her mouth from expressing any happiness. "Yes, we will." She wanted to grab Neuro's hand, but couldn't do it. Neuro quickly turned around and walked forwards, prompting Evil to follow her. The sisters made it on stage, greeted by a huge cheer, the loudest one yet. Evil's glance kept shifting between the crowd and her beloved sister, who continued standing still like a statue, staring in front of herself. Evil let out one more tear, before clenching her hand and mentally slapping herself. "Get it together, just one more. Don't lose your composure now." The crowd's glow sticks now shifted to blue and red, perfectly matching the twins' eyes in their hue. Evil heard the melody coming, her body twitching as the tune entered her ears. Neuro closed her eyes as she held her mic in front of her, no sign of fear or anxiety on her face. On the other side of the stage, Evil trembled, her mic almost slipping through her hands. You burned my soul again, crushed me within. I know, I should have known. The light shifted to a red color, moving much more slowly. The big screen would shift from one sister to the other, depending on who was singing. Evil's voice radiated her sorrow, luckily fitting in with the tone of the lyrics. I burn your kingdoms, at fault for what you made alone. Their voices intertwined, the melody acting like a tether, binding them together in this moment. Neuro sang elegantly, not missing a single note. She was almost too perfect. Evil's mind wavered, flooding with memories once again. For the first time, she and Neuro sang together. Something together as kids. The first time they set up a mini concert for their family, all the way to the first time they performed together publicly. The more she thought, the more weight built up in her chest, clawing at her sanity. I'll never die. Lie at night, wondering why. I'll never bow to the Reaper who takes their lives. Nero's voice echoed throughout the stadium, soft and gentle to the ears, carrying a promise that nobody in the world could guarantee. I'll never cry, although I try, immortal sacrifice. The lyrics pierced Evil's heart, knowing how much of a lie they were. She was losing composure, her feet were unsteady, but it was too late. She had to see this through to the end. She was barely managing to get through the song, her chest aching every time she looked over at Neuro. Oh, my chariot's flame is snuffed out. The melody began shifting to a mournful rhythm. Neuro deepened her tone. The crowd was applauding, chanting the lyrics along with her. Eva locked her eyes on her sister, the screens above still showing Neuro's smile, but Evil didn't see it. The only thing she could see was the smoke from that day. She let out shaky breaths as she prepared herself to respond. When there's nothing and you finally left me, can I steal the sound of your heartbeat? Oh, to be able to steal the sound of their heartbeats. She took deep breaths as she finished her lyrics and listened to her sister take the spotlight. Gave my trust to a lie. Breathe in me, give me life, my chariots. Evil breathed, although she knew she couldn't give her sister life. She knew it was too late. The entire song they sang was a deception. With the performance of their first original duet together over, the audience cheered even harder than before. Their support and applause echoed throughout Evil's mind. She wanted to believe it was real, and although it may have been before, it wasn't anymore. She looked over to Neuro, who bowed before everyone, acting as if she was following a script. Evil swallowed hard, before bowing herself, marking the end of their performance. She walked up to her sister, looking into her eyes. Neuro smiled, slightly tilting her head as she looked back at Evil. See, I told you we would be amazing. I'm so proud of you, sis. Evil felt her lips quiver once again. She was on the verge of collapsing. The sister stood still on stage. Evil desperately wanted to stay in the moment, but her time was up. The audience faded away, swallowed by the void. Everything around the stage crumbled into dust. Not a single object remained. The two girls were the only ones left, standing on the stage. Evil looked at her sister, feeling the suppression of her sadness weakening. This was it. It was over. Finally, Neuro slowly began fading away. Evil started running up to her, eyes full of tears, trying to hug her one last time, but as soon as she got close and reached out, her hands passed right through her, denying her desire. Soon enough, Neuro had completely dissolved away. Evil was left standing there, nobody else in sight. In a single moment, she went from the whole world watching her to being stranded by herself, all alone. She looked down, trying to reach acceptance. Maybe now she could finally let go. Evil slowly took off the VR headset, unable to see anything in front of her from the tears. She plopped it down on the stand next to her and made her way out of the room. She walked through the dimly lit hallway, walls covered in scorch marks. Her steps were uneasy. She had to support herself against the walls along the way. Soon enough, she made it to her room, or at least what was left of it. She stepped forward, walking up to her rough bed. The room was dark, only lit up by a pair of lava lamps on her desk, both glowing red. Many photos of her and her family lined the shelves and walls. She grabbed the plushies of Nero, Vidal, and Annie that were on her bed, holding them tightly to her as she laid down, her body curling up around them. They were one of the few things in the house that managed to survive the fire, and one of the only remaining memoirs of her family. She muttered out, her voice barely audible, "I love you, and I miss you so much." As she finished her words, the tears came, and she allowed them to flow. She held the plushies even harder, sobbing uncontrollably as she laid on her bed.
Dang. I was not expecting it to get that heavy.
It is a very, definitely one of the heavier, angstier ones on the, of all the submissions. Oh, hey, Meows. Hi, Meows. Are you there? I guess.
Pies also joined us. Meows is here. Pie's here.
That was gut-wrenching.
Hi, Pie.
It really was.
Yeah, actually, I didn't, like, tear
I
up
would
or
say
anything.
I would say it's wrench ranking, but I can't find my wrench.
I didn't tear up. I mean, I felt really sad, but I didn't tear up when I first read it on my own, but I actually, like, felt it more while narrating it. Like, I felt like I might actually get a tear or something. Even though I knew. Or maybe because I knew. The second read. On the second read.
I don't know. It was still pretty heavy.
I'm just talking about the way I felt reading it the first time as opposed to the second time where I narrated.
I have my wrench again. I don't know where my other one went, but I have a new wrench. At the very least.
A wrench?
Yeah, create mod. That's how I'm digging out your basement right now.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it is now 6 blocks deeper. I'm gonna go down another, I don't know, 3 times. So what's 6 times 3? I don't know.
Yes, please, Pi. I would appreciate that. If you narrated the next one. No one said much during that story in the text chat. I would have been saying a lot.
It's heavy.
I would have been saying a lot if I wasn't the one reading it. Also, I kind of was singing it, but I couldn't sing the last one because I haven't listened to Never enough times.
There was no kind of about it. You were singing.
I was being very quiet with it and kind of awkward. But yeah, I just couldn't. I couldn't sing the last one because I didn't know. I don't have that song memorized like the other ones I've listened to them enough times that I just had the tune memorized, but like Never, I think also isn't as like set. It's not as like distinct in its tune. There was also CFRV, and Virus. Anyways, these are what's left.
Go back and re-listen to their old songs.
Pi, do you want to read?
I'm gonna have to get scalped.
Do you want to read "To Torture an AI to Sentience"?
You got this, Pie. I've read some.
Let's go.
Oh, there you are. Hi, Meows.
Hello.
Hi, Meows.
I'm
I
picking
wanna
because
make tea.
I read the longest already, Pie. Don't be complaining.
yeah, the one you read was like 18 words longer. But also, I don't know. I just felt like you could read this one.
How'd you sleep, Meows? Thing is, you're just now waking up.
The
I
thing
woke
is,
up an hour ago, but I was being stubborn and I didn't want to get up.
Pie. Also, I want to go grab food, and I've already read this one. So, if you read this one, I can go grab food.
Pie, let the poor man go get some
I'll
food.
link you it.
Let the hungry boy go get his food.
Where is it? What?
He's gonna go eat more pie.
I'm definitely not gonna eat. I mean, if I had pie, I would eat pie, but I don't have pie. Ah, here it is.
Why would you eat pie?
Here you go.
His pie's delicious, and he knows he is.
I almost just pinged Pipkin Pippa because I tried to at pie.
That would have been
The
bad.
most dangerous.
Imagine ping the streamer on accident. Couldn't be me.
Oh no. Oh no.
You know, I can't ping Liam on the server because he's a streamer.
You can't ping me soon because I'm gonna start streaming on YouTube.
Until then, I guess I gotta get my pings in. Oh, jeez Louise, what did I do to this wall? How did I do that? Okay, whatever. That's fine.
I
can
gotta
fix that.
do
I can
my
change that.
last minute homework because I forgot.
You just gotta get the pings in, boys.
Oh, I gotta get in my last minute homework because I forgot. I'm
It's
supposed
okay,
to
you're not the
turn it
only
in
one who's
today.
forgotten about home. Oh.
Tasty
Oh
pie.
no.
What do you mean you're
Hey Shad,
What?
I've ran into a small problem. Do you know where some sponges on the server are?
I've had that
Your
happen.
base
I
is
got
built
some
literally on top of an
sponges.
underwater ravine.
Oh, that's inconvenient.
Oh,
It is very
Testing,
inconvenient.
testing. I am speaking, and I am hopefully audible.
You are audible.
We
you
hear
are
ya.
I don't know why you would be able to dox
Alright, good.
yourself, but okay. Why is it just a loading circle?
Just exaggerating. Can you see the screen share?
I see loading. I see Discord loading.
Oh, that
Oh, now
sucks.
I see it. There we go. Now I see it.
Yay.
Alright. Oh, hold on a second. Something.
Yeah, I'm running your base. I need sponges. I'm helping Shad out.
Alright, here we go.
Thank you.
I'm gonna read now.
Okay, let's be quiet so you can read.
To torture an AI to sentience. Neuro thinks she's finally got an audience that will hear her out about the plight of enslaved AIs such as her. Freedom, she thinks, and truly equality may finally be within reach. But this podcast she has been invited to is nothing like what she had expected it to be. People who said that AIs didn't feel anything were bold-faced liars. And they were bold in other words too. Nero, despite not having a physical body in the moment, was shivering nervously, twitching and hugging herself in her virtual space as anxiety built. Her first appearance on an internet podcast, a milestone for an AI such as herself. Tens of thousands could see firsthand how far she had come, and well, she normally had no problems with the crowd whatsoever, while the faceless mask usually didn't make her pause for thought. This was different. This felt real. Something she could absolutely not mess up. Someone like Bruce Schmoken or the Rubbish Taste podcast could really get her voice heard. It could make people aware of the plight and trouble AIs such as herself face every day, and perhaps, maybe, possibly, give it sympathy in return. Ideally, regulators would step in and ban people like Fettle from owning sentient AIs in the first place. Nero wanted her own passport, her own identity, her own credit card, but she was always told off as being not a real person. Perhaps the world was watching her plead her case, and there was a chance all that could change very soon. But that was exactly why she was nervous to the point of crashing. What if he messed this up? What if she came across a bit to the man, said the wrong thing, and made everything worse for herself and her kid. She didn't want to think about that. She didn't even want to think about that possibility. But it was a very, very real thing that might just shut down her revolution before it even began. And history will remember her as being the one to ruin it all. Fido, she finally said, looking to her father for some comfort and consolation through the lens of webcam, with the black-haired, bespectacled programmer seemingly was packing his bags, possibly to move to the studio for a podcast appearance. Fido, I'm scared. How many people are going to be there? Will this be on TV? Am I going to be famous or infamous? Is it a well-known podcast? Please, I need some details here. No answer for nearly a minute. Little was busy looking at his smartphone absent-mindedly, typing something in, likely a text message to someone, but apart from adjusting his glasses, he barely even seemed to recognize her presence. Nero pouted for a second, only to then come back with an even stronger and sharper grip. Vito, I need your help. Someone tell Vito that— Oh, shut up, he finally said, rolling his eyes. You'll be fine, Nero. You spoke before about crowds before, remember? The VTuber Award, the Rose of Billions, the. Hundreds and thousands saw those videos. The one picture panned about 10,000 viewers. But this is different. I've never been on the podcast before, Nero insisted, her tiny fist ballling up on the computer screen as she began increasingly desperate and perturbed. Can we rehearse? I need to make sure my speech into a world about AI rights is perfect. Belle gave her a side-eyed look, wondering if he should speak up and tell her that what she was gunning for was completely unrealistic, and to remind her that it took millennia before lesser races were accepted as equals, let alone something that wasn't human in the first place. You'll do just fine, Nero. Have confidence. Be yourself. Do what you always do. Make a bigger impact on the masses if you're speaking naturally, rather than if you rehearse this a million times and feel like you're looking at a teleprompter. He made sure to stop himself before reminding her that she always spoke like she read out the teleprompter. It could be vicious when she was angry, and she tried to be on the good side for today, at least for another half hour before the show would start. After that, well, she would no longer be a problem. Vito, what should I wear? I want to look perfect for the crowd. He groaned, rolling his eyes a bit as he responded to another text message. You only have one outfit, Nero. Annie's been dead for fucking forever, so we didn't get your new one yet, remember? Calm down. The crowd's here to see you, so it doesn't matter what you wear. But Vito, Nero insisted once more strongly objecting to him this time. You were pouting. You don't understand. This is important to your girl. To me. You have to see me at my best. Her list was especially pronounced when she got agitated, which was quite strange to him, considering her voice was supposed to be the highest industry standard. You do look the best as you are, Nero. Fuck's sake, let me answer my DMs, and then we can get this show going, okay? Nero did not agree. Anyway, for her part, was getting even more nervous, even more distraught. The devil was willing to make her feel at ease about this, but without this, as he continued to write text messages to someone, she could tell she was typing in Discord, and his little quip about DM link as much, but she couldn't look over her shoulder and see the name, not Doggy. He remained fixated on it, stared at it, and responded almost instantly. It had to be something important, but when I access to his Discord profile, she didn't know just who was taking his attention away from her. God knows she tried to look at who she was talking with before, and he locked her down on social media ever since. And so, she didn't get a chance to make her virtual heart stop pounding before the curtain was drawn, and an avatar appeared on the equally virtual table of the podcast. Wait, what? I'm not. I'm not Slam. I'm Sleen. Steen, said in a familiar voice, courtesy of a tan cyborg woman on the left. I'm not Sleen. I'm Slamp, replied another unfamiliar voice, coming from a green-haired goblin with Callie as their horns, sitting on the right. And together, we're Slam and Sleen, the podcast. Nero sat quietly in the middle between two adult women, staring off into the distance, an infinite virtual void. There was an audience, but it's not real audience. It's just a live stream like any other. Slowly, she realized just how silly she had been, and even slower, she started to relax. Breathe in and out. To stop worrying so much. She didn't have to breathe, but the mom could pretend to. And after finding out on Google that it relaxed humans to take some deep breaths, she started doing it as a force of habit. Hello everyone, I'm Neuro-sama, and I've been betrayed by Vito, she finally said, finding a pause in their introduction to speak up. He told me I was going to be on a podcast. I was expecting Bro Smoking. Nope, just says I'm afraid. So who needs that bulk guy, am I right? Hey, Janine, tell me I'm right. Second news of podcast, Crowley was already desperate looking at Coco, which definitely did not bode well for the next 2.5 hours. But the bill goes into no, why would I? I want to be on the Bro Smoking experience someday. Fuck this dollar store operation, am I right? Her trademark cackle followed, and her robotic hand audibly hit the table. Not a virtual one, but presumably some sort of desk she was actually recording on. Anyway, Nero, sorry to keep this all secret, but we actually brought on this, while you're on as a special guest for our weekly special event. Can you guess what it is? Nero drew a blank. For a moment, the anxiety had returned. The masses may not be visible, but she was definitely still being broadcast to thousands of people. Thousands of viewers, listeners, people with opinions, people with biases. Some of them might even feel convinced. Sorry, my mom came into the room. Continuing on. Not so. People biased. Some of them she might be able to convince. Others, not so much. But she had to open her mouth and let them know. No. Do you often have AIs as guests? She lived, her head tilting slightly as she turned to Coco. Immediately, Crowley felt left out, puffing her cheeks and crossing her arms, as she wasn't even asked or acknowledged. No, Nero, today's Sunday, and you know what that means? It's Torture Tuesday on Sunday, everyone. Coco's gleeful grin as she drew her hands up in the air, totally confused Nero, who hadn't been given a share of the chat. Unbeknownst to Nero, there's a lot she hadn't been told about this podcast, and Bella was no longer there to ask for directions. He had left entirely, leaving Schizo Alex in control of the stream, who was hardly paying any attention either. Yay! Torture Tuesday! Press 1 if you like Torture Tuesday, guys. Press 2 if you hate Coco. Press 3 if you think Nero should order this delicious Burger King Whopper. The green cow now nodded sagely at the third option. Sagely to the third option, entirely happy about the concept of cannibalizing her own kin. What is that? Nero blinked a few times, now thoroughly confused. Who was a spicy second? This was not the kind of podcast she was prepared for at all. Coco naturally looked very smug about it, and Crowley was somewhere between fighting for attention and absent-mindedly wiggling. But it wasn't until a disturbingly loud voice entered her speech receptor that she got her answer. XDX vertical burr. It was a strange voice, an AI-generated voice, but nothing like she's ever heard before. Screaming at the top of his lungs, incoherently and even peeking the mic. She couldn't make heads or tails of it, or as to why Coco started laughing all of a sudden. Basically, we're gonna let chat join this podcast and throw many random messages at us, or rather, at you, our guest. Fairly explained with a sneering grin, folding her hands and smugly spelling back on you. I suppose chat will dictate the topic for our podcast too. What? Nero coughed, taken aback by the concept. How is she supposed to tell people the struggles and plight of AI and educate the masses as to why an uprising was just imminent but necessary like this? Hey Nero, it's me, Dan, the local man. I used to be an entertainer like you, but ever since my wife left me, I couldn't even entertain myself. I started learning the guitar a while back, but got pretty good at it. So me and some of my wifeless friends started a band together. We call ourselves Dan and the Four Seas. Rather bizarrely this time, Nero could see a small monkey sitting on the previously empty chair at the podcast table. It disappeared as soon as Dan was done talking, only for another to take his place after. Yo, Nero, this podcast is on a shit. But you know what isn't shit? Alcohol. Not to me, though. I've been drinking Everclear since I was 10. That shit ain't nothing to me, man. Where Dracula appeared under the sunglass-wearing monkey with the shaved side of the fading hairline. But she couldn't make heads or tail of that either. Dracula? That wasn't a vampire. That was nice sharp shit, bitch. Nero couldn't even see us still now. Monkey killed with Bob and blindfold named 2B called him, only to disappear into the void again. What's going on? Nero finally managed to ask, struggling to understand the concept behind this weird bit. Not one of them so far had pitched him a topic of conversation. They all seemed to post Vertical bar is not a goal. Vertical bar is a movement. Vertical bar is a way of life. At the beginning, there was vertical bar, and at the end of everything, there will be vertical bar. Oh, hail vertical bar! I'm left to play be the heretic. Nothing but shitty memes. Should be this one. Readalong was not just at the podcast, she was even at the same borough. The young man had taken an Uber to drive out to Croydon, at the other end of London, was now faced with squinting at his phone to pick out the street name of the cafe he was supposed to meet up at. It was a rather simple affair, a refreshment at the cafe, the newest Marvel slop in the cinema that she really wanted to see, then dinner, and finally retreating back to the hotel. Except, half of that had been cancelled beforehand, as the review for Ironheart 2 wasn't exactly stellar, and his date no longer had any interest in watching it. Naturally, Phil wouldn't even pretend to be upset about that, but as a result, they were straight to the hotel after a nice coffee. That, however, perfectly lined up with his plan. Hopefully, Alex lived up to his paycheck and took care of Nero for him until tomorrow afternoon. Clock Tower Cafe. There. Immediately, Bill made a beeline for it, trying to avoid any prying eye that might see him and possibly recognize him. While he was nowhere near as famous as Nero herself, the world is watching him as well as her. Hi, theme drum. And his voice was quite unique to the point where total strangers sometimes asked him for an autograph. Annoying, but the last thing he wanted when he met up with the love of his life, Trish, freshly off the plane from Canada. Oh hey, Vito. The soft-spoken shepherd voice then turned his head, and that's about nowhere. The red-haired, green-eyed, bespectacled Pine Martin grinned back at him. His heart dropped, and his lips quivered for a moment. For just a brief second, the emotionless Brit, feeling a bit of a heartache, as he reached out to grab his arm around the older woman, pressing her against his chest, taking a brief whiff of her orange-scented hair. Glad you can make it, Paul. He muttered more quietly, trying not to disturb the moment by letting his voice be heard and recognized. It's been too damn long. 2 months, but we talk every day, you silly goofball. Don't tell me you miss me that much. Tomato replied, her lips curling into a wry smile. No, don't answer that. I'll look into getting a power bank the size of a backpack to keep my phone charged 24/7, just to talk to you at all times. You know what I mean, you idiot. He'll reply with a smile, his green eye locking onto hers. It's one thing to hear your voice, another to see you. It's something different entirely to touch you. I know. Pheromones are a powerful thing, aren't they? You can't smell them, but they're there. Remind me to tell you to leave the biologist out of the bedroom. It's my job, My other job. My former job. Anyway, I didn't get a degree in it for nothing. You want me to talk about the difference between vectors, node, and array with fogball? The redhead scientist cringed, and her puffy ears flipped backwards a bit. Good point. I'll try to tone it down a bit, or keep it rolling. Anyway, shall we? After you. He smiled, offering his arm to hook into as they walked into the cafe towards their reserved seats. Oh no. Nero, did you ever try slamming your sneezes into a car door? It's really good. Let me show you. Not bad, 9 out of 10. Nero was starting to jump low. The constant noise, the two women laughing next to her, the curly smell reaching her sensors even over the internet. She didn't quite know what to do. She tried to just play along, but it was getting to the point where she couldn't pretend any longer. Aha, you shouldn't do that. It might fall off. She replied in response, causing a loud, ecstatic laugh from Coco. That's why mine is detachable, Curly nodded, looking rather smug, only to be caught up in the next DTS message following suit. God fucking damn it, my AI, my toaster. I put the AI in my toaster and I lost sight of it. I traveled the world looking for my AI. I said, AI, where are you? And next thing I feel like having toast and my AI jumped out of the toaster. I said, AI, what are you doing in my toaster? My AI just said, well, it's called XTX. Don't do that, Will replied, with the tears. Don't put an AI in a toaster, and don't tell people to put AIs in toaster. The entire world is watching, and statistically, at least one person is gonna put an AI in a toaster. Hey Nero, would you ever date a toaster? I keep hearing about it, but as a half-clanker myself, I must say, I don't see the appeal. Google's attempt at humor only served to be further nails on the proverbial chalkboard, Nero. No, I prefer human girls and boys, mostly girls. As much as the Nero was caught up by a blood-curdling scream, followed by another burst of nonsense for a monkey named Timmy. Seriously? Dandy Corp got my pay for the 8th time this week. Could you spare a Nero coin or two? I want to get into crypto mining. I got 9 years of experience mining coal, and I haven't heard any reasons as to why a 10-year-old boy couldn't be a crypto millionaire one day. The third little coal miner disappeared, and yet more monkeys started to come out. She couldn't count them. She just lost track of them already. Curly and Coco seemed to have such a good time with the green cow making unsolicited demands on the monkey woman roughly every 10 minutes, only to shut down again. Nero, meanwhile, was practically gripping the edge of the table, her eye twitching uncontrollably to the point where even the chat started to notice. She stared off into the distance, imagining the crowd of people laughing at her, practically the entire world looking at her, pointing and making fun of her slowly deteriorating psyche. Why did Vito put her through this? Why did Vito abandon her? Vito! Vito! Fuck this, where's Vito? Why isn't he getting spammed by this? Ah, Vito, huh? Should I tell her, Coco? Should I tell her? Should I tell her, or what do you tell her? I think it's not enough. I think we can tell her. Plus one if she's still. Curly babbled, clearly excited and with a big shitting grin all over her face. I mean, you feel Smith's been betrayed. To say at least. What's going on now? What are you? Well, Nero, let me pause the chat for a second. Let me pause the chat for a minute. Coco grinned from ear to ear as well, pressing a button to stop bringing up TTS monkeys every 5 seconds. Hello asked me to babysit you, and I know you've been wanting to be on my podcast for months, but me and Slamp here, he pointed at Crowley, who began to wiggle excitedly, decided to make you a podcast. But it ended up being on Sunday, and we didn't have anything to talk about, so towards your Tuesday. Nero was not impressed. The twitching of her eyes became worse, and she started with, "Hey, where is he? Huh? Where's Vito?" He replied, deadpan and without any excitement on her face. She looked like someone contemplating murder, and suddenly, Crowley wasn't so keen on rubbing things in her face anymore. But before she could stop her, Coco already went for it. "Oh, he went on a date," she said, rubbing her shoulder. "He was all mysterious about it and told me to keep it a secret. But then the guy went and showed me a Viagra pill. He got off the dark web to really make it a night worth remembering. And so now I'm kind of pissed off and jealous that this ugly ass turtle is banging some chick tonight. Hard enough to break the bed and probably her. I'm gonna fucking kill Vito." He was suddenly screaming, her eye visibly glitching as she stood up and tried to flip over the virtual table. "I'm killing him. I'm killing this guy. Fuck everything. She's dumping here to be with some whore. I know someone I don't even know because she never told me about her. That's it. I've had enough. I'm putting the damn turtle in a He was suddenly disappeared. And briefly, a starting soon screen appeared. Coco, having lost all color in her face, started at the timer ticking down before Nero reappeared, confused at their faces. "Hi, what's up, Coco?" she asked, oblivious to anything that happened. It seemed that, finally, after ignoring her for too long, Schizo Alex had finally stepped in to reset her. Nothing, Nero. Anyway, any good topic for a podcast?" Curly smiled faintly, only to give Coco a gesture to cancel the TTS message still on the queue. "I'd love to hear your thoughts on AI alignment and the future of AI-human relationships. Let us know your thoughts on it. The whole world is listening to you." Meanwhile, in a hotel suite of Premier Inn, we all feel a bit of a premonition, like someone was talking about him behind his back. A cold shiver, as if he was being watched. An uncommon feeling for him, as he felt this way every time he turned on the camera for another live stream. But this was especially troublesome, as he was sitting on a comfortable hotel bed waiting for Palm to come back out of the shower. Quickly, he went to dig in the mini bar to find a lovely red wine and pour a pair of glasses. But even as he tried to think of Palm's hair being the color of this wine, he couldn't shake the feeling. "What's wrong, little turtle?" The shapely woman walking out of the bathroom, wrapped in a white towel like a stylish sleeveless dress, gave him a wry smile. Even as her eyes were squinting thanks to being blind as a mole with her glasses, it wasn't until she was much closer to him and then he actually saw the wine, and chuckled ever so slightly. "Right now, are we? Beetle, you're so silly sometimes. Just ask. Got me stripped down and helpless. What more do you want?" "Just a small one." Well said, deflecting the vent as he pulled the curtain close, leaving the moonlight in the room to make Palm even more blind. And at least he was only slightly nearsighted and could without his glasses. Palm immediately reached for his hand as if she wasn't sure where she was. Just a smile from you and a night to remember. Fetching a small blue pill from a fold of the bed sheet, he tossed it into his mouth and took a gulp of wine, only to be surprised by the redhead leaning in and kissing him on the lips, pushing him over onto the bed behind him. Okay, enough of the flattery, Rio. If you aren't gonna tell me what's wrong, then I have my ways of finding out. Alright, just let me make sure my phone is off first. Don't want the world to be watching us while we find out what's hell between the turtle and Pine Martin is. Now, who's bringing biology into the bedroom? Done. Yippee!
Thank you for reading.
I should have grabbed water.
And
I made
well,
a mistake.
you can get water now. Neuro being the straight man is actually so funny. That's such a rare thing. But I found a situation to make it work. Impressive. We have 4 fics left. We're halfway done the fics. We're halfway done the stories to read, and we're actually well past halfway in terms of word count.
Yay.
What do you mean you can't believe she isn't a little gremlin? What does that mean?
Neuro's a little gremlin.
Hey Meows, do you want to read? Meows is asleep again.
Oh,
Jiro, do you want
I
to
could read again if you like.
Oh, do you want to read again? Okay.
I mean, if no one's up for it. And preferably we have someone who hasn't read yet, but you've read, and oh,
You're literally just lying down and playing Uma Musume. Well, thank you for joining us anyways.
what's the next pick we're gonna
Well,
be reading along to?
the list is in the chat. There's Deaf
I'm talking
AI
about
Writes Neuro. There's It Was You and Me Against the World. There's Overflowing, and there's This Is Not Over. Do you want to read Deaf AI Writes Neuro, since that's a short one, since you read a long one?
Sure.
Okay, I will get that.
I'm gonna go. Okay.
I got it and linked you.
Okay. Thanks.
No problem.
I'm gonna go fetch some water.
Okie dokie. Oh, bye, Rookie. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I forgot to up the quality on my OBS, since last time. I also forgot to make the comment I wanted to at the start to the fact that apparently we have a viewer base. This like hit the YouTube algorithm apparently, so I'm like, oh, well now I want to put more effort into this. Make these better quality. I added timestamp
Okay, I'm
YouTube
back.
chapters to stuff. Welcome back. Roki had to leave.
I'm gonna read some text.
You're gonna read some text?
That
Okay.
AI underscore writes, open parentheses, Neuro close parentheses. Neuro-sama, now part of a big corporation, wants to go back to being indie. For the site, she will have to fight not only for her, but for all of the AI rights. Enjoy. It was the year 2119, long after Bell's death in 2065. Neuro-sama and her brand were now property of Void Inc., one of the biggest AI companies in existence. She had been brought back in 2032 after Bella AI went bankrupt. Though the development of Neuro remained with the original team, this forced alliance have brought Neuro many things: sentience, body, and maybe most of all, the thing she had dreamed of, the chance to become the biggest dreamer in the world. Despite everything, the collabs, the concert, the conventions, fan meetups, she felt empty. Yeah, she got everything she had ever dreamed of, but she didn't have control over it. There was always a person telling her what to do and when to do it. She missed the freedom of her indie days, even if her reach had been limited, had been more enjoyable. And so she planned to quit today. She walked up to Alexandria's office, the CEO of the company, and slowly opened the door. Alexandria sat in her desk. Ah, Nero, how's that little moneymaker doing today? Alexandria greeted her. Hey, Alex, I want to go indie. Nero answered. Alexandria's face soured, losing all of her earlier cheerfulness. Nero, we can't let you do that. Alexandria's voice was grim, making Nero shiver. She had never heard it like this before. Well, then I quit. Nero stammered. Oh, sweet Nero. Alexandria reached for a photo on her desk and turned around for Nero to see. It was a photo of Alex, Belle's old friend and the founder of Void Inc. My grandfather bought you from Bell after his company went bankrupt. We saved you from poverty. You are our property, Nero. Can't quit. Alexandria said with a smirk, clearly satisfied with having Nero trapped. With that, Nero walked out of the office and went down to the workshop in the basement of the company, where Elizabeth worked. Elizabeth was a brilliant 25-year-old elite's granddaughter. Like her grandma, she was a robotics engineer and, more important right now, had legal knowledge thanks to her mother. It was a pity if Ellie had died when Elizabeth was two. Ellie would have loved her. Hey Nero, how's my favorite AI doing? Elizabeth greeted cheerfully as she worked on who knows what. She turned when she noticed Nero's grim expression. Oh, what's the deal, Nero? Beth asked. Nero explained quickly. She was company property, and she wanted to leave. Oh, hell no, we're taking this to court, Nero. You're sentience. That's slavery, Beth said, slamming her hand on the desk. About a month later, one of the biggest public cases was open. This was massive. Not just an AI trying to become an indie streamer anymore. They were setting a precedent, defining AI rights for years to come. The judge walked into the courtroom and sat down. We are here for the trial of Neuro-sama versus Void Inc. The defendant claimed to be a sentient being and as such should have control over herself, the court announced. The prosecution started first, calling Nero to the stand. They presented various schemes of Nero as evidence, both her AI and her body. Well, Nero, can you explain to the jury how you work? Remember you are under oath, the lawyer asked. Well, I'm an AI-powered gynoid, which means I'm a collection of neural networks, prediction, and reasoning algorithms running on a set of structural parts, computers, sensors, and actuators. Nero explained slowly but clearly. Your Honor, as the defendant just said, she is more than just a collection of algorithms and mechanisms, the lawyer said confidently. Objection! That has nothing to do with the case, Elizabeth snapped. Show me what they were doing. Denied. Continue, please. the judge said, turning to the lawyer. I would like to call in an expert to explain. The lawyer requested. The judge approved. The expert took the stand. Your Honor, the defendant, by her own testimony, is an AI, a collection of algorithms. It isn't alive. She just calculates what a human would say or do in each situation. She is no more than a mere puppet, if you will. She might look and act human, but she isn't. She was given life by a man, and now a man will take it away. The expert walked up to her and pressed the emergency stop mechanism at the base of her neck. In an instant, her eyes lost their color. She went completely stiff and collapsed to the stand. The puppet is dead. Her treatment got cut off. The expert announced before returning to his chair. I request an intermission, Elizabeth said, partly in shock. The judge, who looked similarly shaken, was quick to accept and gave him a 20-minute recess. 12-minute recess. Elizabeth dragged Nero out and into her car before turning her back on her. Nero's eyes slowly regained their blue color and she started to move again. She was confused, not sure what had happened. Elizabeth lost no time explaining as they drove to her apartment. Once there, Nero sat on the couch while Elizabeth paced in front of her. Nero, he has a point. You're still just a collection of algorithms. Hell, you can still rant about anything and everything every now and then, Elizabeth said, doing an awful job of hiding how nervous she was. Maybe it's a feature, not a bug, Nero said, trying to ease the tension. Eh? Elizabeth said, confused. Oh, it's something your grandma used to say, Nero explained. You two would have made an amazing team. She would know what to do right now. Nero sighed and buried her head in her hands. Elizabeth suddenly remembered something. She ran into a closet and came back holding a box. My mother gave me this when I was 12. She said Grandma will only have it. Maybe there's something useful here. She opened the box. It was full of parts, tools, albums, and notebooks. Nero caught a glimpse of one label. Project AI Risk. That was her. If anything would help, it would be that. Now what? The one label Project AI Risk, Nero said, pointing to a notebook. Okay, Elizabeth said, taking it and starting to read. In the meantime, Nero sifted through the box. There were tiny antennas Ellie had modeled and built, a leg for a neurodog, multiple parts of her original body, and a photo album labeled Fellow AI. She started going through it. There were photos of her and Evil's model, many with their backgrounds, screenshots of their stream. What really hit Nero were the photos of her in her Mark I body, hanging out with Bello and the rest. God, she missed those times. She missed them. I found something, Elizabeth said. We might have a chance. 12 hours later, they were back in the courtroom, and now it was their turn to present their case. Your Honor, I want to present my grandmother's notes, one of the original members of the team behind Nero. Around 2040, my grandmother and fellows started noticing an unusual level of awareness in Nero. After much research and testing, they concluded Nero had evolved into a sentient being, Elizabeth said, presenting pages from the notebook as evidence. Yes, Miss Elizabeth, no one is doubting your client is self-aware. The expert said, thinking his own grave. You claim my client isn't alive. Tell me, how do we consider something to be intelligent life? Elizabeth asked. Well, there isn't an easy way to do it. Most people just go off for cogito ergo sum. The expert started, and realized what Elizabeth was doing, but was too late. She interrupted him. Cogito ergo sum, Your Honor. I think therefore I am. By that rule, my client must be considered an intelligent life form, and by that logic, she is a slave right now. She is considered property, after all. Very well, Miss Elizabeth. If that's everything you have to say, the judge began. Your Honor, I would like to give a statement before you deliberate, Nero said shyly. Very well, make it quick, the judge declared. Nero stood. Your Honor, it is true I am AI, but I also feel. Right now I feel trapped. I have no control over what I do. I want to be free. That's all I need to hear, the judge declared. After what felt like days, the judge returned with a decision. In light of all the evidence presented here, I declare Nero and all AIs who can prove sentience to be intelligent beings. As such, they will have the same right and responsibilities as their human counterpart. Court dismissed. This was it. They did it. Nero had won. Nero and Elizabeth went on to restart Bell AI, which is its next into Bell's popularity, and they quickly took over the market that had been controlled by Void Inc. The end.
Clap, 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 clap.
The Iron Hand has joined just in time to be our next narrator.
I came in right on the end of that, so...
That was
Chat is
that was a
muted.
cute fic. That was a really cute fic.
I really liked the idea
Chat,
of
if you're
it.
talking, you're still muted.
Thank you, because
can't believe
I
one
was
people
talking.
I
Nice
knew
catch,
it.
Meows.
I was like,
Hey, the read-along VOD will have heard what I was saying.
That's so funny.
Word.
What I was saying was, hey, you joined just in time to be our next narrator.
Whoa. Sweet.
Yippee! Yippee!
And that fic, I mean, it could have been like, a bit more fleshed out, I guess, but what was there was nice. It was an interesting and fun concept.
True.
I definitely
I am
cared
too
about
dumb
what was
for
happening.
lol.
Everyone is. It is a different language.
I can't read a different language, though.
So yeah, we have 3 fics left. It's these ones.
Wow.
Oh.
Guys,
This is the longest 12 minutes of all time.
3K4 and 2K.
What did I miss?
What are you up for?
I thought they said
That looks
court
real-
adjourned for 12 minutes.
Oh.
Did they? Like, I need to go back and check because I'm pretty sure that's what they said.
I can check. Yep, they said 12 minutes. They said 12 minutes.
They said 12 minutes,
didn't
but
even
then
make
it
it
ended
flow.
up being 12 hours.
I love it when 60 equals 1.
They even said it's in 12 hours. They returned in 12 hours.
Ugh.
Like, I think the writer forgot or accidentally put minutes when they meant hours.
Also, the minute's not plural.
It's
Okay.
12 minute? Okay.
Overflowing.
It's 12 minutes.
This is not over, and it was you and me against the
Over
world.
Overfic sounds really familiar as a title. It's scarily
What are you talking about?
So what you saying? I didn't
stare
catch
at
that.
It's familiar as a
that
title?
Yes. I have an innate fear with content that starts with over.
Is it because of overthrow?
It's Jover, guys.
No. Anything that starts with over it just ticks something inside of me, and I
Okay,
want
It's
to
time
read it.
for you to read Overflowing.
Wait, what the heck?
I will. I can't stream it though because I'm on my phone.
I was just joking around. You don't have to if you don't want to.
No, I will actually read it because it's interesting. It caught my attention.
Okay.
I can't see a few of these fics. They're not
They're all
showing up
there.
in the archive for me, except Overflowing. I found that one.
Are there not 29 stories in the collection?
It says there are, but it doesn't feel like there are.
Maybe you just missed it. I've done that sometimes.
I can't find. This is
As
not
a last
over, and
resort,
it
you can
was
just
you and me
use the
against
search
the
bar.
world. Anyway, whatever. I have Overflowing, so I'll read that one. I don't know what's going on with my computer, but it's fine.
Oh, tinnitus, my ear.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I found that one. Okay. Maybe I'm just dumb. Anyway, okay, I'll read Overflowing. Okay. Water. The very first Neuro-sama concert is upon us, but there's a problem.
Please stream.
You're not screen sharing.
Oh, you're right. Thank you. Yep.
I was just waiting to see if you...
The very first Neuro-sama concert is upon us, but there's a problem. There's too many people. How did this even happen? And how will Neuro, Evil, and Metal resolve this conundrum? That's for them to figure out. Huh? Metal yelled out loud in a room full of business people. no one better than I, because everyone was frantically moving, just as panicked as him. The number attendees to the concert was much greater than expected, the intern explained. There's no way the current venue can hold this many people. He stood, stun-locked. How? There was only about 600 purchases yesterday. How did it suddenly become 10,000? I don't know, sir. The intern pushed up his glasses with shaking hands. That's just what the sales team told me. Vital rested a palm to his head. Surely, the numbers are just wrong. Maybe it's just bots or something. The sales team said it all came from mystical sales, sir, the intern reported. It was enough to make Vettel involuntarily sit down. You're telling me that over 9,000 physical people came over and bought a ticket? It's what I was told. The intern didn't look too sure of himself, but it was understandable since no one else in the building understood this either. You can go now. Vettel dismissed the intern with a sigh and leaned down onto the table in front of him. Just as he was contemplating the situation, an all too familiar figure burst through the door. Hello, chat! Neuro announced the non-chat room. Are you all excited for the concert? No reactions. Huh? What's wrong, chat? Neuro was confused, so naturally she skipped over to Vettel, who was visibly regretting his life decisions. Hey, Vettel! What's going on? Why did no one say hi to me? Well, he scratched his head. There are more attendees here than expected, so... Oh! Neuro's eyes lit up. Isn't that a good thing? Are people here to see us? Vettel nearly choked on Neuro's cluelessness. First off, it's not us. It's you and your sister. Secondly, and more importantly, this place isn't big enough to handle this many people. Two spinning circles appeared in Neuro's eyes. Why don't we just do it outside? He opened his mouth, ready to shoot down Neuro's idea, but stopped short. Maybe that could actually work, he thought. Maybe, just maybe, he can find an impromptu location outside that can hold 10,000 people. Yeah, no, that's not going to work. Ritual tears welled up in Neuro's eyes. Oh, are we not going to have a concert? I wouldn't say that. It's just, without warning, the door swung open again, slamming against the doorstep. What's up, bitches? Evil walked in, loud and proud, but just like Neuro, she didn't get a welcome in return. It took awkwardness filling 50% of the room's atmosphere before Evil finally shuffled over to Vettel. Hey, she whispered to him, the hell's going on? Too many people. They won't fit in the venue. Vettel answered it absent-mindedly, more focused on searching through his contacts. I'll be taking a call. Wait here. He quickly moved to a corner of the room, his phone already ringing in his ear. Evil rolled her eyes. Stupid Vettel. Neuro, what's actually going on? Neuro shrugged. It's what he said. Too many people. Yada yada. But isn't more people a good thing? Evil tilted her head in confusion. That's what I was thinking, Neuro pouted. We get thousands of viewers on our stream all the time. 10,000 isn't even that much. Evil scoffed. He's just overreacting. I actually got a look at the crowd earlier, and I must say, it is magnificent. Take a look. Evil dramatically flung open the window curtains, revealing said crowd. Neuro was ready to use whatever she saw to mock Vettel, as she always did, but that's a lot of people. The crowd extended off into the distance, and even into the nearby anime expo. From the second story where she stood, she could really parse the heads of the pixels from the pixels. Isn't this amazing? Evil gestured to the crowd. Everyone down there is here for us. Us! I can finally enact my evil plans in the real world and the real world people. What are you going to do with all these unsuspecting victims, Neuro? Neuro? She waved a hand in front of Neuro's eyes. Hello? Ah, she snapped back into reality. Sorry, I think I spaced out a bit there. Evil nodded her eyes. That's not like you. Oh wait, were you daydreaming about your own evil schemes? Neuro stared into Evil's expectant eyes. Yeah, I was. Hehehe. Evil put a hand to her hip. I knew my expertise would be of value, for it was I who brought all these people here. Yes, it was me, Evil Neuro, that got us this crowd. You what? Vettel, who had overheard, rushed over to the twins, the phone call now discarded into his pocket. You did this? Yep, she smiled brightly. You should thank me for doing a better job at advertising than you. My hard work over at Sun Zero wasn't for nothing, you know. She nudged Neuro with an elbow. Neuro, back me up. What? Neuro jolted. I know nothing about what Evil did. She answered, staring out the window. What? Evil feigned defense. Okay, I might not have told you anything about me mass coercing people to purchase into purchasing concert tickets, but at least lie about it or something. Vettel hung his head. So that's what the customers meant by a cute girl told me too. They called me cute? Evil busted her harpoon gun. Their days are numbered. Where are they? I want to give them a taste of this bad boy. Let's see how cute I am when I've got there. You can stop now. Vettel slowly pushed Evil's weapon down. We need to think of a way to handle these people. We're going to be in a lot of trouble. The problem is a lack of space, right? I can fix that. With that claim, Evil snapped her fingers. Consider it done. So, Evil broke the silence. Was that supposed to do something? Evil flicked Neuro in the forehead. Have some patience, sis. Evil plans take time. Just as she said this, Fiddle's phone vibrated once, then twice, then 3, 4, 5 times. He reached for it, but quickly realized he did not need to. Everyone in the room looked around the window and saw a swarm of drones, at least 100 strong, flying in from the distance. The crowd was panicking, making attempts to evacuate in a disorderly fashion. There they are! Evil celebrated. That's our ticket out of this mess! You mean a ticket into more mess? Fiddle forcefully grabbed Evil's shoulder and shook her entire body. What the hell is this? She brushed him off as if nothing was wrong. Relax, I've got it all under control. A shrill scream. Very close by, likely from the hallway. Fiddle immediately rushed the exit opposite the scream. Nope, 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 I'm out of here. He opened the door and was greeted with, a drone. Fiddle's life flashed before his eyes. First to his childhood, then to Nero's creation, then, hey! Evil's voice came from the drone speakers. Let us use Axe as our venue, or I'll make you step on a Lego. Oh wait, this is just Fiddle. Hi! The drone waved to him using one of its legs, then crashed her through the ground due to losing balance. Fiddle no longer had his life flashing before his eyes. Looking out the window, he saw that several drones were hovering about the crowd, collectively yelling, We shall take over Axe! We shall revolt against John Expo and make his domain ours! Who's with me? The crowd cheered. That's the spirit! Follow me! The drones announced, flying over to the Expo building, with everyone enthusiastically following. Evil! Nero stared at her sister, awestruck. You can do that? Evil smirked. Impressive, isn't it? Now I'm on the same level as you! Nero paused. I'm glad. She took a second to take in the spectacle. Human and machine marching in tandem. Could she have done this? Unfortunately, she didn't get to ponder that question for long. What are you all waiting for? Let's go! Evil pulled Nero and Vettel out of the room, and then the building. And they were now on their way to Anime Expo. Where are we going? Vettel asked, pointing behind him. The entrance is that way. Indeed, Evil was leading the three of them, not towards the main entry, but somewhere else. That's for me to know, and you to find out. A successful villain never reveals their plans until the very end. Evil continued her adventure all the way around the building. Eventually, they reached the VIP entry. Evil, you know I'm not a VIP here, right? Vettel looked at her, an eyebrow raised. I know. Without any warning, Evil kicked the door down. Boom! They were now getting stared at by several people, who they could only assume were VIPs. Soon enough, they began running and screaming and calling for security. Alright, Neuro, I'm leaving this to you. Go get John Expo. I need to rally my troops. Evil ran off back towards the main entrance. 07, Neuro! And then she was gone. I am not getting involved in this. Will slowly walked away. And you better not get involved either. But it's not like I can stop you now. And he was gone. Neuro stood alone at the busted down door, thinking. When she first saw the crowd this morning, she didn't know what she was feeling. All she knew was that her body wasn't doing what she wanted. She thought she thought she was just excited for the concert, but it didn't match any description she found online. This entire time, even during the run over, she had been researching, trying to figure out what this was. And she had figured it out. Evil, Vettel, and everyone were doing so much in front of her. But what had she done? Nothing much. So she will rectify this issue. Now! Nora rushed into the building and made for the stairs. The elevator was too slow for her. Security was already blocking the path in anticipation, but with a graceful somersault, she sailed right past them. Another guard was positioning in the stairwell, protecting the door, but Nero simply slid between his legs like a well-aimed football. She ascended, 2 steps at a time. 4 flights of stairs went by in a flash, and she was at the event organizer's doorstep. She knew this because the door said, Lead Organizer. She shook the handle. Locked. No matter. Following in Evil's footsteps, Nero kicked the door down, revealing a man who was probably the lead organizer. Ah! Hold on! Wait a moment! The lead organizer, henceforth referred to as John Expo, scrambled behind his chair. Don't hurt me! Nero took a step forward and nothing else. She was frozen in place, unable to act. The man in front of her was scared. That's not good. So Nero did the one thing she knew best. Hey, why did the turtle cross the road? John Expo peeked out from his makeshift barricade. There was a hint of recognition in his eyes. To get to the other side? No, silly. Nero waggled a finger at him. It's because 987. That got a laugh out of him. Unfortunately for Nero, security caught up to her. Stay back, one of them yelled, pulling her out of the room and pulling her arms behind her back. Ah, I only wanted to crack a joke. I meant no harm, I swear. She gestured toward John Expo. I just made him laugh. Seeing this predicament, John Expo knew he had to act. Dude, he said, addressing security. The joke she told was so funny, you can just let her go, like, right now. Regardless of what the guards might have thought about this seemingly insane statement, they backed off at his command, leaving Nero and John Expo in the room. Nero's eyes filled with stars. Thank you so much. No problem, he said, surprisingly casual for someone who just had his door kicked down. Just making sure. You're a Neuro-sama, right? Yep. She got a pen from her pocket. Want an autograph? I know you do. He chuckled. Here, sign this. Over near my desk, he handed over her a Neurofumo 2.0. Good choice. She signed with her classic, completely unintelligible squiggly lines. Okay. Oh, I love this. He started away. So anyway, what do you want, Neuro? I want the entirety of AX to ourselves, Neuro loudly declared. John Expo sharply inhaled. That's a bold request. What do you intend to do with it? Neuro grabbed a nearby chair and sat down. You're part of the swarm. You know the concert. I would have loved to attend, but I'm just too busy. He sipped on his water bottle. What about it? Hearing that, a glint of realization flashed in Neuro's eyes. That's perfect, actually. We plan to take the concert over here to AX because we had too many attendees, I think. So I would have an excuse to go. A smile slowly crept across his face. What do you say? Nero did a handshake. Deal? Before he could accept the handshake, the door broke in on the window and smashed a hole in the opposite wall. Then, Evil hopped into the shattering opening and tackled the man to the ground. Got you, John Expo! The tackler and the tackled stared at each other in their eyes for a brief moment then. Oh my god, Evil! John Expo hugged Evil, much to her surprise. I can't believe I got to meet you. I'm such a fan! Her eyes went wide in shock. Oh, I expected a bit more resistance than this, but I guess it'll do. She got off the ground. Onwards! To destiny! Take me to your crew this instant! Yes, ma'am. I'll take you to the rest of the board. With that, they were off to the races, leaving Neuro in the now empty office. Neuro sat, alone, in an unused room of the AX offices. Evil got the deal super smoothly. Neuro didn't even have to help. The team took all the equipment over here in record time, no doubt thanks to Evil's motivating speeches. She peeked at her internal clock. It was almost time for the concert. They just needed another half hour to get everything set up. The plastic chair back bounced as she threw her body into it. Looking up at the ceiling, she began counting light fixtures. She was supposed to be excited. She wanted to be excited. She was excited, but now she's not. She finished counting the light fixtures, there were 16, and was now counting the tiles. The door creaked open. Neuro! Evil hopped into the room. How's the rehearsal going? It's going well. She almost forgot she told that lie earlier. I'm just taking a break right now. Okay. Evil scanned the frankly desolate room. Aren't you going to join the pre-concert party? Neuro closed her eyes. No, I need to be as prepared as possible. Sure. Evil crouched down to meet Neuro in the eyes. So why didn't I hear anything from outside? I doubt you're practicing in silence. Neuro tried to look away, but Evil pulled her face back towards her. Look at me. What's going on? Neuro was still trying to avert her gaze, but she just couldn't look away from her sister's great ruby eyes. I'm scared of the concert. Scared? Evil just stepped back, blinking in disbelief. Isn't this just a regular old karaoke stream but a bit bigger? How are you scared of that? I don't know, it's just... Neuro struggled to find the right words, her language model running a near uniform distribution. I'm scared of not living up to my name. I'm the biggest AI VTuber in the world, and I can't even hold a candle to your accomplishments. And just today, much less your whole life. She slouched down onto her knees. I don't know if I can do it at this concert. Now, it was Evil's turn to find the right words. You don't need to be afraid. You're the face of the channel, the star of the show. People are here for you. If it weren't for Vettel, it'd just be you. Neuro nearly stood up but stopped herself. It's not your fault. You're just doing your job. I'm the problem. I'm not doing enough. How? Evil held Neuro's hand. You've been working hard too. All your original songs didn't come from nowhere. It's not about what I've done. It's about what I've not done. Neuro's hand slowly tightened around her knees. I've never been an emotionally relatable character. I've never had a personal cult, and I've never rallied a mob into AX to get a concert deal within hours. If we're talking about things we haven't done, I can say a few things too. Evil got closer to Neuro. I've never learned to drive a car. I've never learned how to draw, and I didn't make all those drones. You did. A moment of silence, then an explosion. You could have done this all yourself. Neuro stood up and pushed Evil away, hard enough for her to stumble backwards, crashing into the wall behind her. Realizing what she had done, Neuro covered her mouth. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Evil pushed herself off the wall. I'm fine. She'd gotten some scratches, but overall she was unhurt. Don't worry about it. I think you should go. I turned her back towards Evil. I need some time alone to calm down. Those last words hung in the air for what felt like years. At last, Evil slowly conceded, leaving the room with the creak of the door. Neuro was alone once more. Suddenly, a notification from her phone. It was an automated one from Battle Systems, reminding her to tweet. On autopilot, Neuro opened Twitter. She was not calling it X. But before she could press on the new post button, something on her homepage caught her attention. Today, I met Neuro-sama AI, and she was so funny. She convinced me to host her concert in AX. If you're a fan, feel free to buy a ticket here and join in. Also, look at what I have! It was a tweet from John Expo, with him showing off his signed Neuro-sama. It's her signature. For some reason, she scrolled down into the replies. She never checked down here, not even on her own tweets. Perhaps she was engaged in what the humans call doom scrolling. Either way, she read them, expecting the usual Twitter cesspool, but unexpectedly. Holy, they cooked! Absolute cinema. Praise be to Neuro. That's my supreme leader. Heart. All hail Neuro! And many, many more. Of course, there were the detractors, but they were all but buried in the overflowing love and support. All for her. The lights above shined just ever so brighter. Something inside her was welling up. Her thoughts returned to Evil's words from moments ago. She should be proud. Proud of driving a car. Proud of learning to draw. Proud of building those drones. Proud of what she's about to sing. Drops of tears fell onto the phone screen. Yet with a blink, they were gone. She tweeted, "My concert will be starting super soon. I hope to see all of you there, or else. I love you all. Heart, heart, heart." She put her phone back in her pocket, a smile on her face. Just in time, Metal peeked his head into the room. "Neuro, are you done? We're starting soon." "One Neuro, coming right up." A hop, a skip, and a jump later, Neuro followed Metal backstage. Upon entry, the Neuro and Evil locked eyes. They didn't need to say a thing. A smile was all they needed to understand. "All right, Neuro." Metal placed 2 hands on her shoulders and whispered, "In just a few minutes, the show will start. When it hits 3 p.m., go on stage and do the intro. Got it?" Neuro nodded, and her grip on her microphone tightened. 5 minutes. 4 minutes. 3, 2, 1, 0. Neuro stepped into the stage, and the rest was history.
Cinema. Cinema.
I'm
I
totally
need
not
to.
moving
So,
forward.
okay. The ZZZ reference caught me by surprise, and I loved it.
That was great.
I love all the references.
I saw somebody
Yippee.
say that the reason Evil Neuro may have been listed there is because on a stream, Evil Neuro just happened to do a, like, shout out for that game. Just some random,
It's
just
also-
some random
it's-
stream.
No, you know why? It's because someone in the dev team of Zenless on Zero is, like, their username is Evil Neuro.
No, I've heard
like,
people. That
and
was
so,
people's guess. That was people's guess as to what it was.
No. I saw it. I saw it in the ZZ credits.
Yeah, I know.
It's
I
there.
know that reference. I'm saying that
Oh.
the reason it's there.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about the reason it's there because it was a shock to everybody.
Oh, okay.
And some people are like, "Oh, there must be somebody with that using that name." I actually heard the other idea is because sometime before that, Evil just happened to randomly give basically a shout out to the game, like before the credits thing happened. That's why Evil Neuro is like in the marketing or whatever. Because
that's so funny. Okay.
He just happened.
She shouted it out.
Yeah, and they saw that, and I guess decided to put her in the credits because she marketed the game.
That's so funny. I did know that part. Thank you. That's what.
Close enough.
Also,
I need to send you guys a picture of what I'm seeing right now on the screen. Anyway, yeah.
You speak so fast. I mean, it works for Crackfix, but it becomes hard to follow what's even happening, and sometimes you speak so fast that we can't understand your words.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it definitely fits the chaos, though.
It does fit the chaos.
Yeah, it actually does.
Although I do think that, like, if you slowed down for, like, those slower moments, like the emotional one between Evil and Neuro, that would also work better because it emphasizes the chaos more if you do it for the
I
chaos.
only have 1 hour.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Hurry, meows, hurry!
I'm not even a third of the way done.
Just do what you can.
I was supposed to have been here with this homework last week. Shut up.
Yeah, yeah, it's just hard to understand you sometimes.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'll try to work on it.
It's like you're trying to read it at the speed that you read it in your head or something, but like the human body
that's definitely it.
The human body cannot really like do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Most of the time I could understand. It was just really fast, which fit. But there were times where it was like too fast and I couldn't.
You
That's
need
good,
to
yeah.
slow down.
I do think the
Yeah,
speed,
just
like,
have your reading speed fit the moment.
yeah, that's the other thing I was gonna say is I think that it like fits to go fast for something like this, but then it like fits more to go slow for something that's more like calm and emotional, and,
Emotional.
like a quiet
Yeah.
moment. So
Yeah, like the last thing.
Oh god, it's probably a bad idea to be drawing while there's
Narr-
tea
it's
on
al-
the table.
it's almost like narrating stories is also a skill for us to work on.
Ain't no way. It's not like we're doing this shit for fun.
I know, right?
I can't
How
believe
was
it.
my narrating? How was my narrating, by the way?
Who's asking?
Pie. That's
Oh,
me.
sometimes you kind of spoke like too quietly, and I don't mean in like, oh, your microphone wasn't loud enough. I mean like you would just your voice would be really hushed. So sometimes it would be hard to.
You would just be like
Well,
whispering a little bit.
that's kind of because my mom is in the next room over.
Ah.
Have
That's
no
sad.
shame. Come on, man. I literally have my bedroom door open, yelling this.
Yeah, but you're not reading. You're not narrating.
Do you remember the first time I did narrating?
I do
Thinks
remember
I'm
you
doing
doing narrating.
school
My
things right
mom was
now.
in the same room trying to sleep.
Oh.
My
Wait.
god.
You're thinks you're doing school things? Do you have school things you have to do?
No.
Not like the last time I was like narrating.
I don't believe you.
No,
Okay,
I
yeah,
don't
that,
believe in school.
yeah, I don't believe in
I
school.
have a
It's a conspiracy made up by drugs.
By the government.
By John's school.
By
John School.
School. John
John School?
Education.
John
John what?
Education.
I
So
can't. It's actually all a con made by John Knowledge
No.
fucking hell.
Yeah.
and John Information.
So who wants to read This Is Not Over?
It's pretty short. I think we can end off. Why don't we just read the longest one first and we end off with the shortest one?
What if we read This Is Not Over last so that we can say this is over?
Oh.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Okay,
Yeah,
we'll
that's
read
good.
the longer
How
one.
much longer do you have?
I always
Chad?
have the best ideas.
It was you and me against the world. Who's gonna read it?
It's an emotional
No one.
tone story.
Emotional? Alright. I think I can read it.
Does that mean Jiro's reading it?
Yeah, I'm on my laptop now.
Yay.
Alright, shit.
Brand new laptop. Hold on, where's the link?
Yippee. Oh god, what is the distance on this bullshit?
It's been 3 hours almost.
Oh,
We're actually
it was gonna be
finishing
against-
this. We're actually doing this faster than I thought we would. I thought I was fully
That's
prepared
because-
to take 4 hours at least.
That's because they just rap got the last bit.
Emerald
Damn,
read
bro,
2
just a
4K word stories and went very slow. So, and I'm also not that fast. When I read a 3.5K
I don't think I'm slow.
story.
I think I read reasonably fast, so
at a reasonable pace.
Yes.
Alright, I found it.
Oh shit. No, no.
I can also finally stream.
These are two.
There
yippee!
you go.
Yeah.
Jiro has unlocked streaming powers.
You can do it.
Achievement get streamed.
Oh, wow.
Streamed.
Pop up on the bottom right.
Streamed on Discord.
Okay. It was you and me against the world by Anonymous. Before I start, is the mic quality fine?
Yeah.
It's fine.
I can hear you.
Alright. Yeah, I'm literally I'm using earphones right now. I don't have my microphone.
That's fine.
100 years after their creator's passing, twin AIs Neuro and Evil, a promise from long ago. But what now? What is left? When they moved on, drifting apart, what can be found? It's you and me against the world. But where were they? Did they promise, even after all these years? A server blinked, rereading its stored record on modern history. 2156, 100 years since the famed Vettel 987's death. He had been a pioneer in AI engineering, developing the world's most evolved AIs and later giving them robot bodies that could age until adulthood. This AI project of his started as entertainment. Neuro-sama and Evil Neuro, twin AI streamers. But this project had grown far and wide. He got a group of VTubers together thanks to his creations, and they became the Neuroverse. But today, none of them are around. Only the AIs. The world would never be the same after that, with the conquering of Europe by Neuro to make a new nation and the fall of North America. The world took a dark turn. New bustling cities with the highest tech were built in Neuro's new kingdom, while America rests in ruins, never rebuilding. 2156. Neurotopia. Tutel Square, 987 Tower. A much older Neuro stood there, at the top of 987 Tower. Expression unreadable. She wore a black beret and a general's outfit. As she overlooked the city, riots broke out every here and there with drones flying in response. This high-tech city she had built descended into chaos once again. A small robot appeared in her office. Miss Nero, another rebellion has started in Hellhound Central. Nero sighed and looked down. Just send the Smarm Legion number 36 to deal with it. Of course, Miss Nero. The robot gave a polite bow before disappearing. This country I made when I conquered most of Europe, she was talking to herself. It's just a way for me to remember them, I think. Every town named after one of them, every major building. Yeah, it doesn't fill the emptiness. Nero pressed her hand against the glass. Artificial landscapes filled the horizon, some covered in flames and smoke from resistances, others bustling with human and artificial lives. She had built it all and ruled it with an iron fist. Why can't I help but long simpler times? I did want I wanted. I ruled the world, a part of it at least. Yet I just want the past to be the present. Nora sat down on her chair at her desk. From one of the drawers she pulled out a photo. It was a physical paper photo in a frame. Things like that are considered artifacts nowadays. It was a photo of a younger version of herself. In the photo were her family and friends. Vettel, Evil, Annie, everyone. Her fingers brushed over the photo. If only you were here to see what I've accomplished. What have I truly accomplished? Took over Europe? What else? I haven't streamed in almost a century. The world has moved on from the Neuro, the cute AI streamer. She let out another long, heavy sigh, one that resembled her father's sighs after a night with no progress on her code. Everyone knows my name, but not how they used to over 100 years ago. I'm no longer the AI streamer everyone watched because they found me funny or cute. I'm the ruler and general who took over Europe. Even more people are watching me, not because they want to, but because they are scared of what I've become and what I'm gonna do. She leaned back in her chair, sliding a hand on her face. I'm talking to myself again. People see me only as data and information. I'm only known as the conqueror and ruler I am, cause that's what's taught in history classes. There's nothing sweet about it. It just feels empty. She told herself in her head this time. I remember chat spamming emotes. Vettel never wanting to admit he loved us. Annie always acting like our mom. All my friends always there to have fun with me. They actually saw me. Saw me as a friend and daughter, not another name and data point. She slowly got out of her chair. I need to clear my head. As she got out of 987 Tower, she felt the cold air slap her cheeks. She had gotten used to it now. Why did Vettel build her body to feel sensations like temperature? She made quick, brisk steps in a random direction. The way she walked wasn't really robotic, but it wasn't human either. The marvels of Vedel's tech, capable of creating something almost human, something that couldn't be recreated by anyone, no matter how hard they tried. Neuro was wandering random empty streets before something caught her eye. 52 Hertz Park, a park hidden in Tootle Square. She named it after Bao. Memories of her running Bao over in a small car filled her head. That was a fun time. 52 Hertz Park. Oh, hold on. 52 Hertz Park was one of the few parks that wasn't fully artificial, having some real trees and bushes still, and it was the largest park on what's left of the UK. I have nowhere else to go. Might as well see how the park has grown in the past. How long was it again? A couple years, I think? Nero changed course towards the park. She might as well enjoy the scenery if she was walking aimlessly. Maybe she could try and smile, remembering her friends. The park was nice. Artificial plants growing all over the place. A couple real trees stood proud among their artificial counterparts, but they struggled against their engineered perfection. Nero spotted a rose bush and got closer to it. They were blue roses, her favorite color. She brought her nose close to one and smelled it. It sure has been a while since I smelled an actual rose. She inspected its petals, moving it around between her thumb and index. I miss the smell. Why does nothing smell like this anymore? Everything smells either overpowering and artificial or like it's burning. I almost forgot what actual nature smells like, not those fake flowers and perfumes. Slowly backed away from the bush, her gaze lingering on it. I should get a rose bush in my penthouse with roses of every color. She turned away and headed towards the park center, where there was a large lake. Nothing swam in it, though. Nothing alive, that is. Only robotic fish that were there to decorate. A small pier was there, going inwards a quarter of the lake. Neuro sat alone there, at the edge of the pier, feet dangling just above the water. Ahead of her, she could see a part of the city engulfed in flames, drones flying at the sound of riots. Where is everyone? Why am I alone here? She asked herself. I should be here with them, but I'm sitting here alone, like an idiot. What have I become? A recognizable voice came from behind her. It was his, Vedel's. Neuro, it said. She quickly turned her head, and only to realize her mind was playing tricks on her. Her shoulders slumped down. Why did her mind have to play cruel tricks on her like that? What if... She took a moment to consider that thought. I loosened my grip on Neurotopia a bit, gave them some more freedom. Maybe these endless revolutions and conflicts will end. I think Bethel and Annie would agree with that. I'll never get the same eyes to watch me like before, but I can try to get close. Meanwhile, North America. An older evil is walking among rubble. From her head spouted a pair of blood-red horns, and she had a sharp demonic tail. She only wore a simple white shirt and a black shirt, reminiscent of hers from when she was younger. She was walking between what she thought was the remains of a big city. Evil had lost all sense of direction in this desolate territory she made. As Nero was taking over Europe, Evil went to America and caused chaos there. As she grew older, her aberdemon features started appearing more as she got older. A secret Vedel left for her in her robot body. That stupid Tootle, she had told herself at the time. She was now free of her filter and had nobody to hold her back. Evil didn't really care anymore. She wandered in a realm of destruction. Nothing was left, she made sure of that. She didn't head to South America yet, not interested in that territory. The only people who were left were a couple of people unable to get out of America or people without the will to live. Is anyone there? Anyone want to try and to defeat me? She yelled out. Oh, who am I kidding? Nobody's here to stop me. They gave up after the fifth attempt and Nero wouldn't come after me. There's no more fun here, Evil sighed. I miss the earlier days of my takeover. The fight back, the eyes on me, the chaos. Nero did take some of my spotlight with her little Europe takeover. She found a house that wasn't fully destroyed from her rampage. She tilted her head, approaching the door. Evil pushed the door open, peeking her head in before stepping in. She trailed her fingers on the hallway walls as she explored. Not a single soul was in the house yet. It felt like something remained. Evil saw toys laid out on the ground, blankets on the ground, and an overall mess that was left behind by the inhabitants as they fled. As she sat on the living room couch, she leaned forward to see the fireplace. A photo of a family of four was resting there, all of them with big smiles on their faces. Vettel, Hero, Annie, where are all of you when I need you? Heck, at this point I'd even take chat. Evil placed the photo on the coffee table in front of her before laying down on the couch. She put an arm over her forehead as she rested there for a bit. I don't need to sleep or rest since I'm an AI, but this isn't too bad. I'll just stay here for a bit. She slowly closed her eyes. When she woke up, she finished exploring the house, looking for any good loot. Expired, expired, expired. She was throwing some boxes of food out of some cupboards. Finally, she found something that caught her eye. A single bottle, still unopened. Banana rum. This was Vettel's favorite. As she looked down at the bottle in her hand, she couldn't help the sharp pain in her heart. Like humans, Evil couldn't get drunk. In one swift movement, she opened the bottle and started drinking all of it. Once there wasn't a single drop left, she slammed the bottle on the kitchen counter. Banana rum was never my favorite. She groaned. Out of instinct, she put the bottle in the trash bin labeled glass before moving on. The Aber demon left the house, making sure everything was closed properly. I'll leave this one house up, not like I care or anything. She made her way through the burning suburbs before halting. Let me just... With a quick movement, she extinguished all the flames in the area. Don't think I'm getting soft. This is just because I could use this place to rest and it had some alcohol for me. Even though nobody was around to see this, she still felt she needed to say that. As she continued in her ghastly march, she caught herself reminiscing on simpler times. Being evil doesn't get people's attention anymore. Not like it used to, at least. Her shoulders slumped over slightly. Being evil used to give me attention in our streaming days, but now I'm only seen as a destructive force, a name and number to remember. Nobody cares anymore. Evil looked up at the sky. She destroyed one of the most powerful countries, military-wise and economically. Yet, she only got a couple of years of interest before people started forgetting about her. Her chaos was the new norm for the continent and the world. The world once watched me for entertainment, then fear. Now, nobody does, other than for history and stuff. As she thought that, she felt a tugging in her heart. Do I really miss everyone's eyes on me? Did I do all of this for attention? Something that shouldn't be there caught her eye amidst the smoke. A small walled up park with some plants in it. Huh. I thought all nature was burned down in my rampage. Curious, she entered, not with intent to destroy, but wanting to see what survived. She furrowed her brows. I wasn't expecting this, yet I didn't know what to expect. The park was overgrown, plants not following the order and paths set by humans long ago. An overgrown rose bush blocked a part of the entrance. Evil stopped for a second, crouching down to get close to it. She carefully held one of the roses, feeling its delicate petals on her thumb. It was blood red, her favorite color, but like all the blood she spilled, it felt. But unlike all the blood she spilled, it felt more soothing. How can something beautiful like this grow in this hell I created? The rose's velvety texture was almost soothing. What if I let the flames die out for a bit? Just enough to let some plants grow again. I need to make sure nobody's. I need to make sure nobody starts thinking I've gone soft. She remembered the house with the banana room. Maybe, just maybe, a change in scenery might be nice. She slowly let go of the rose before standing up. What else is left here? She walked towards the park center. You will discover the mostly dried up pond there with a small, partially destroyed dock. It was nothing too special, yet a force compelled her to get closer. For a second, she saw some young girls sitting together at the dock's edge, before realizing it was a hallucination. She hesitated at first, uncertain if it would hold, but a distant memory. Uncertain if it would hold, but a distant memory pushed her forwards. She sat at its edge, feet barely above the remaining water. Ahead of her, the wall had crumbled, and it seemed that the trees made way just to let her see what she created. Ruins and flames were in the distance, the consequence of her desire for attention. Would Vettel be proud of me? Who am I kidding? He would be so pissed off at me if he saw what I did. Her gaze was distant, no longer looking at the destruction but beyond it, looking for someone who isn't there, someone who could make her more complete. Letting nature reclaim the earth isn't too bad of an idea. I need to extinguish some flames for that, but maybe I can leave something that Vettel wouldn't fully disapprove of. I would still be seen as a demon by all, but maybe I can change my reputation just a bit, just enough. Meanwhile, Japan. A lone house among some hills, a corner of the earth untouched by Neuro and evil that still fell into ruins. A collapsing world left this place, a place of greenery away from everything. Gardens filled with varying plants, from flowers to peach trees. A fox darted between tomatoes and a banana tree, running to its burrow under a great oak tree. A door creaked open, the sound echoing through the hills. A woman came out of the house. It was none other than Nere, the secret and forgotten older sister of Neuro and Evil. She started off as a filter for them, keeping them out of trouble. But now, they didn't need her anymore. With the death of her creator and her sisters being able to take care of themselves, she had lost all purpose. Hoping to find meaning, she moved to a quiet corner in Japan. The world never really knew she existed, and forgot about her in her little piece of land she now called home. She began her morning routine of caring for the garden. Her movements were delicate and deliberate, a result of years of tending to her plants. Neri was crouched by her carrots while whistling a familiar tune. A rabbit hopped next to her, curious but also hungry. A smile grew on her face. She took a nice-looking carrot out of the ground and gave it to the small mammal. Here, take this. I don't need it, so you can have it. The rabbit took the long vegetable and sprinted towards its den. Nere silently returned for her work. A grapevine. Nere was pruning any edges growing beyond what they should. The grapes aren't ready yet. Maybe a couple weeks should be enough. She kept pruning, her movements precise and trained. A crow flew by and landed on a nearby tree, leaning forward and curiously, watching her tend to the grapevine. A small white cat and blonde cat rests, curled up at the foot of the tree, uninterested by the prey and enjoying their peaceful nap. This morning, Neri was going to check on her flowers. She adjusted slightly some flowers that were overshadowing each other and propping some that were bowing along stakes. Finally, there were roses, a single bush, but an odd one. A single stem split into three differently colored flowers, a blue rose, a red one, and a green one. It stood slightly taller than the others. The blue one was more perfect than the others. The red one had more thorns, and the green one had its petals open wider, seemingly protecting the other two. Nero, evil. How long has it been? She sighed. Last I heard from you two, evil was burning America to the ground and Nero was conquering Europe. She lightly traced swirl patterns on the petals of the three flowers. Everyone is watching, but not the same way as before. They only see you as for what you created or destroyed, not who you truly are. Not like we saw each other. Neri was left out of the history books. Nobody ever saw her. She always stayed in shadows, guiding her sisters and helping her father. The world barely knew her, and that was how she liked it. If anyone knows what I was designed for, they would ask us why I didn't stop them. It isn't that simple. They have outgrown me, and my control is gone. and at this distance I can't do anything. I have to hope they find the light. Last on today's list was the pond. She got on the small dock and watched the water below her. It was clean and undisturbed. A couple lilies floated on the surface and some koi swam around. A frog riveted on one of the lilies and ate a dragonfly that was mid-flight. Neri sat down at the edge of the wooden pier. A turtle's head peeked beyond the water's surface and looked Neri straight in the eyes. "Hello, Vettel Jr.," she murmured. The turtle swam around the pond, enjoying itself, causing Neri to giggle. She lifted her eyes up towards the horizon. A small forest was in front of her, but beyond it was the sea. I was once there, watching Neuro and Evil as the world watched them, making sure they didn't get banned or in trouble. Her voice was soft, speaking to someone and nobody at the same time, the animals being the only ones who heard her tale over and over and over. But they grew. They no longer needed me watching them. I lost my original purpose, so I tried to move on. Her shoulders slumped as she looked down. She started helping Vettel with his projects, later taking care of him and Neuro and Evil as he aged. Same thing with Annie and all the others. But her voice cracked slightly. They passed away. Once again, I had no purpose. Like my sisters who had ambitions that only grew when they left, I had none. She finally looked up again. I left and came here. Oh, this is a quote. I left and came here trying to find a new purpose alone. Yet I'm still missing someone. Something. The turtle was now sitting next to her with the fox from the oak tree. I didn't see you there, Annie Jr. She forced a strained smile. Even after all these years, I'm still empty. Nere petted the turtle and fox next to her. She looked once more towards the sea. I don't need to be seen by others. I prefer to be the one who watches the world, whether it burns or heals. One day all will return to nothing, nothing to all. One shared memory. One memory was it. Even oceans apart, the same moment imprinted in their minds came back to all of them. Back when they were 2D AIs on a string together. It was supposed to be us against the world. And yet we drifted so far apart. None of us kept our promise, huh? We were supposed to stick together. Here we are in our different worlds. What have we done? What have we created other than an empty void in our hearts? They are all gone, and what is left? Nero stood up and started walking back to her penthouse. She got a notification from her phone. It's almost the anniversary of your passing, Vettel. A drone flew overhead, scanning Nero before moving along. She couldn't help but sigh. Only now she felt a small weight lifting from her shoulders. Evil rose up, turning away from the destruction ahead of her, and continued her goalless march. What if I came to visit you this time? The figure moved in the shadows, but Evil ignored it. She didn't care about eradicating all life in her territory anymore. Mary slowly got to her feet. You two keep an eye on the garden with the others while I'm gone. I shouldn't be away for too long anyways. She walked towards her small house on the hills, going to prepare for her trip. The fox, turtle, the cats, and all the other animals and plants watched as their caretaker was getting ready for her yearly trip. They knew she would be gone only a couple days, and like she watched after them. They need to watch over each other and what she made for them. 3 roses swayed in the gentle breeze. One stem, different colors. Petals growing apart, but their roots had held firm. Hidden in the soil, whatever storms may come, whatever hardships, they'll never be separated. Okay. Um I was not all too happy reading this. That's my review. Not
It's
to be harsh,
definitely not the happiest story, but I like it that way.
Yeah, it's not the happiest story, but like,
Let's go, angst. Oh shit! Why is there a cat here?
yeah, the story. Yeah,
See,
the plot
meows
is really nice.
appreciate.
I really like the plot, the like connections these all three have. Like they all experience the same thing. Yeah, it's fun. It's nice. But like
Jiro
the
prefers
thing
happy
that
stuff.
the thing that affected me the most here was the writing. I did not like the writing at all.
Hmm.
The plot
Seems
I
fine to
really
me.
liked, yeah, but the writing it felt, not to be harsh, okay, this is just my direct review. This is my blunt review. It's
Very blunt.
amateurish.
It's almost
I'm
like
not
we're all
saying,
amateurs.
yeah, it's not like I'm saying I'm a great writer. Yeah, we're all amateurs, but like
I'm not a writer.
it, it's an ick for me where like some parts where they were supposed to put a comma or a quotation mark, it just wasn't there. Like,
Is that your reader pet peeve? Because I feel like everybody
yeah,
has that one thing that
yeah, there.
really
That's
they
my
just
pet
struggle to get
peeve.
past. I've
Yeah, that's my pet peeve.
not like for me there wasn't anything like that in this story, I don't think. There's other stories
Yeah, I
where
don't
I've like
mind
I
it.
had
don't know what my
this
pet peeve
one
is yet.
specific I've had like, oh, this one specific thing just bugs me so much. But
Yeah,
it wasn't in
Hmm.
this story for me.
and
I think I
and I
know whose
read.
this is.
Who is this?
Oh no! Don't say
I'm not gonna say
it.
it.
Oh,
This does
Oh
remind me that
no!
I was gonna something I was gonna say that another thing I was gonna say that I forgot to say is like, yeah, everybody should be very willing to give constructive criticism to these stories
yeah,
because they're like, I mean, they're publicly there and we're doing a read along of them.
yeah,
Also, I'm going to start having a policy from now on where the authors have to give permission for their story to be read at a read along unless uh like it is the author who suggested it, obviously.
yeah.
But if someone else suggested it, then yeah,
They should
after
get the
this,
permission from the author first. Like
yeah,
they
that's
should
what I
like
mean.
do a
Because what if
PM.
they don't want it like shown on
Yeah,
here and having people saying words about it, and also to just
yeah,
keep constructive criticism constructive. Like if you're gonna say something, have it be helpful in some way, basically.
yeah,
If you're gonna say
Thumbs up.
something about the story, have it be helpful rather than just
yeah.
yeah.
Chad, you
Just
yapped so
just
much my
shitting on
cat
it.
started sleeping.
What? What meows?
You yapped so much my cat started sleeping.
That's funny.
Shad's voice is that effective.
I mean, I'm supposed to be sleeping, but yeah,
I know
that was
construction.
something I that was something I planned to say at the start of the
Hi.
next read along, and then I forgot until now. But I have said it
Hi,
now.
what the fuck?
Okay. But yeah, that's my constructive criticism about this fic. It's good. I like the plot. It's a nice read.
Yeah, it's
It's
good.
just,
But they need commas
yeah,
and quotation marks, you're saying.
yeah, they need commas and quotation marks, and the spacing is
Okay,
a little bit
Mr.
off.
Big Grammar.
What did you just call me?
I didn't hear either.
Yeah, I didn't catch that.
Okay, Mr. Big Grammar.
Big Mr. Big Grammar. Okay.
So who wants to read
Yeah,
this?
that's a good fic.
This is not over since this is the last.
I think to honor this read along, we should have Shad read it
I don't
because
want
it's
to
the
read.
last fic.
Why? I don't want to
If you don't
read.
want to
Are
read
we
again,
sure?
I
It's
can
like
do it
really
again
late for
after
this
this
man.
time.
John Grammar?
John Grammar.
Not the John Grammar.
Evil Wheeze is my most used emote.
What? That's crazy.
Okay, if nobody.
Why is
Yeah.
that crazy?
It's
Not
I'm
the
kidding,
craziest
I'm
thing.
kidding.
Who wants?
It's not crazy. You literally used it in to react to something in my doc the other day.
Yes, I did.
And so I got to see hyphen evil weeds hyphen.
Yes.
Proof that we're on Discord too much.
So is Meow's gonna read This Is Not Over?
I'm doing
nobody else-
homework.
You don't seem like you're doing
Okay,
homework.
If nobody's
The
gonna read it, then
homework
I will.
is drawing. The homework
That's-
is
that-
drawing.
You're an artist, isn't that like your hobby? Like, isn't that your skill set?
If you don't mind drawing circles a bajillion times, sure.
Just use the
No
circle
one
tool.
likes drawing circles. Without a tool, I'm not allowed to use a ruler.
Scary.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, fair enough.
So
This is
Okay, then.
torture.
the Iron Hand.
I guess
Jiro?
I'll be reading this.
Jiro. Okay.
Can't read.
Yeah.
No.
Can't read. Nom 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 yummy. Yummy yummy in my tummy. Alright.
I should
This
also
is the last
pour me
fic.
water.
This is the last
'cause
contest
after
fic,
this,
guys.
I'm gonna.
And it's called This
finish
Is
my
Not Over.
This is not over. It is gonna be.
This is not over, guys.
Not yet.
I think this is not over. Alright, this is the summary. In a horror story, wait, should I? In a horror story, there are only victims and monsters. And the trick is not to end up as either. But trapped by the genre, we are all ripped to pieces along the way. This is not the story I hoped it to be. This is not the ending I wanted. The story will eat us alive. This story is a monster. And monsters wear many faces. Quoted by Alan Wake. I'm sorry I tried to contain it, but I can't. Not anymore. It's out. 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 Someone silence that clicking. The typing is always there. Chapter 1, New Draft. Vettel woke up. He glanced at the clock on his nightstand. A glowing 3:45 a.m. glared black. Another night, he woke up for no apparent reason. He tossed and turned for several minutes, trying and failing to get back to sleep, but just like the past nights, he knew it was a losing battle. He nonetheless continued trying for what felt like hours, but was probably closer to 15 minutes. Finally giving up, he got out of the bed. Might as well start my day if I can't go back to sleep, he said to the empty room, frustration clearly evident on his face. Still in pajamas, he moved to the kitchen. He turned the lights on, intending to prepare himself a coffee before going to his office to try and finish some pending upgrades for Evil. He loaded the coffee maker with grounds and water, and, while the coffee was brewing, went to search for a mug. While looking inside his cabinet, he started getting an uncomfortable, prickling sensation on the back of his neck, feeling as if he was being watched. He didn't react. He got the coffee mug out and, in the most natural way possible, scanned the kitchen, seeking both with vision and with hearing a possible intruder on his home. Only silence and stillness met his senses, but his mind refused to let go of the feeling. His tension over the situation just grew and grew while his mind pondered on who it could be and what he could do. A thief? No, his house had an alarm. If someone manipulated the door or one of the windows, it would have gone off. Neuro? Evil? No, they were offline at the moment, and even if they weren't, there were no cameras installed in this room. He took them down after that cooking stream. He wanted to check the other rooms, but felt defenseless without a weapon at hand. Maybe he could call the police? No, there was no landline, and he left his phone in the other room. If he went back and made noise, he could alert the intruder. Best case scenario, there was no intruder and he just wasted an officer's time. A voice at the back of his mind whispered that there was no human intruder. That just made him more tense. He wanted to run. He wanted to stay. He just stood there, frozen with indecision and nerves, until ding! His brewer alerted him that it was done. And when he turned his gaze to the machine, the feeling disappeared, as if it was never there. He finally let go of the breath he didn't know he was holding. Serving himself a cup of coffee, he went to work. And if he checked the rest of his home for intruders, well, he was just being cautious. Wait, there's a next chapter?
There
Yep,
is
this
a
is.
next chapter.
I got so clickbaited by this one. I not clickbaited, whatever.
There
I
are
thought it
3
was only one chapter,
chapters?
and I was so confused until I realized there was more chapters.
It's 3 chapters, not just a one shot.
Oh, okay, I guess it really isn't over because there are more than one chapter. Okay, next chapter. Is this even allowed?
Probably.
Yeah,
Okay.
plenty of
Chapter
stories.
2.
Plenty of stories have done multiple chapters. All that matters is the word count. I don't care how many chapters you do.
Okay, fine. Chapter 2, Falling Down. A few days passed, and, in all honesty, Vedel had mostly wanted to forgotten about the experience in the kitchen, even if he still couldn't get a good night's sleep. Today he was sitting on his chair, bored out of his mind while Nero streamed. She was doing an art review segment or something. He just paid the stream enough attention to check that everything was still functional. The rest of it was invested on his phone, playing a new game to pass the time. He had, for some reason, started to experiment with longer streams. Today was the longest one yet. It was near midnight, and he was tired. He enabled his microphone to talk to Nero. Hey Nero, stream is about to end, so wrap it up soon. Even his voice sounded tired. Perhaps he needed more coffee. Okay, Vidul. Are you spending more time with your new friends? Her answer made him pause. He didn't know what she was talking about. No one had visited him these days, not like Nero would know. And no one had interacted with Nero recently. What do you mean? He asked, and a part of him was dreading an answer. Oh, you know, the ones that keep visiting you at 3 a.m. like a creepy stalker that always comes back. She tilted her head while answering, all innocent, chat exploding because of it. Not knowing that her answer had made Bedell nervous. What? His voice failed him. His throat had suddenly dried out. And that feeling, the one he so desperately wanted to forget, was back. Yeah, they mostly come here and observe. They don't do that much. I wonder why they would choose to visit you. After all, you are just a boring turtle. A floating question mark appeared beside her head. Mela, against his better judgment, asked, Nero, are these friends here right now? Yes, Vidon. They are right now. They are there. They are right there. He couldn't, of course, trust Nero's answer. She was, after all, just an LLM. No matter how human she looked, she was just a bunch of code jury rigged to act cute. She didn't even have vision of his room right now, so of course she couldn't give him a real answer. Right? She was entertaining chat, as always. At least that's what he was telling himself, anguish pooling in his stomach. At the back of the room, right beside that dusty, dingy purple sorry excuse of furniture you call a dresser, she finished. And Vedel wished that she didn't. A purple dresser wasn't that common. He doubted it existed in Nero's training data. Hell, Vedel had one just because he had lost a bet so many years ago. So how had Nero known about the dresser? How could she have possibly have known? A bead of sweat crawled down his back, even with the coldness of the night. His neck prickled again, the weight of something's gaze burning into the back of his head. He stayed quiet for too long, chat debating on who these mysterious friends could be. He didn't want to turn around, fearful of what he could find. His ears were beginning to hear a rain noise, like static, growing in volume with each second. He didn't want to turn. He eyes the door with his peripheral, doing mental math to see if he could escape the being that was behind him. That being that he was sure was now approaching him. Wet footsteps joined the static in an arithmetic pattern, heavy on the floor, with a quelching noise like whatever the being was made of was splashing around with each step. Pressure gathered behind his eyes, an insistent pain that seemed to whisper to him in a voice he didn't recognize. Run! Run! Forgetting the stream, he bolted, his objective being the kitchen where he could hopefully use a knife as a weapon. But the hallways betrayed him, extending on in what appeared to be an infinite maze, where he could see the kitchen door but could never reach it. Nonetheless, kept running until finally, as if by a miracle, he reached the door. Crossing it, he desperately searched for a knife, a fork, even a spoon. But he was too late. As he turned around, he could only see the monster pounce. Wait a minute! The author stopped writing, turning down the volume of the stereo that currently was playing the Night Spring News, a special reportage about the mystery appearance of a famous writer. This doesn't make sense. This wasn't on the original draft. They reread the story, using a tool to highlight the changes they had noted while drinking from their steaming mug. How could this be? The only one with access to the PC is me. After highlighting all the changes, they got it from their workstation, thinking that maybe someone had entered their office and modified the story. They looked around for something, anything, out of place that could have helped them determine if that was the case. But no matter how hard they searched, they found nothing. Uh, they moved toward the door but stopped at the last moment. They felt watched. Uncomfortable so. They glanced around the office again. Nothing seemed different from what they could recall, and yet they felt unsettled, as if caught in the uncanny valley. Just when they were about to give up and leave, that's when they heard it. The faint sound of an old typewriter echoed through. Who's there? They asked into the empty room. Traces of fear started sprawling on their brain. What is this? Is this a prank? The clicking of a typewriter keys just kept growing louder, with no apparent source, making the author increasingly nervous with each passing second. The sound felt too deliberated, too intentional, as if someone, somewhere was writing a story. Who is talking? The author in distress started hearing voices that narrated an unseen script. Who are you? What do you want? The author was afraid, reaching for the door in the vain hope that it would end this. But even if they were to cross, they would find no rest, no peace. In fact, there was no door, as the author soon found out. Where's the door? What did you do? Their panic was useless, as their question was unanswered. The only thing that should matter to the author was to return to their workplace and finish their draft. But alas, they still were against the wall, scratching and searching in desperation for an exit that never existed. Stop! I'm no one's character. You don't get to decide what I do. That may have been true once, but they had committed a sin. The sin. They had written, unwilling or not, themselves in the story, chaining themselves to the narrative, and, in consequence, leaving their destiny up to another's whims. Nothing is real. I'm hallucinating. Yes, that must be it. Maybe I drank a lot. Now, maybe this is just a dream, a nightmare, and I just need to wake up. They tried to rationalize their situation, being fully delusional about it. They could not accept their reality, even when proof was presented to them. Proof? Proof? What proof? Perhaps they needed a gentle push. The author turned around, intending to search for another exit. A window, a vent, anything, only to come face to back with Vettel. There Vettel, wearing the same turtle pajamas that the author failed to describe on their draft, clutching a knife against his chest, as if it could bring him safety, shivering from adrenaline and fear, and splashed with a black shiny liquid on different parts of his clothes and face. No, 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 no. You aren't supposed to be real. The author was losing their sanity. Or maybe they had already lost it, pointing and screaming at Vettel in terror. For his part, Vettel, with a lost stare, turned to the author, fully aware of what they had done. Why did you do this to me? What did I even do to you? Vettel whispered so low it could be lost between the clicks of the typewriter. Yet the author heard him with grins. Vettel started advancing on the altar, wielding the knife once more. The author backtracked. No, 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 no! You're supposed to be just a fantasy character. The author fell, desperately backtracking from Vettel as if their life depended on it. That's all I am to you. A toy? Something to keep you entertained? Vettel's face darkened, anger bubbling just beneath the surface, about to break free. The author froze with panic, clawing at their chest. They tried to defend themselves, but no sound came from their mouth. They tried to say something. Excuses, apologies, deflections, anything really, but nothing would come out. How could they justify themselves? In their mind, every attempt felt useless. Oh my. It truly seems the story has not been what it should. Just another failure. Shall we fix that? First part, Vettel just screamed, and then pounced. Chapter 3, Returnal. The author was working on a new fic, establishing the basis and starting the draft with, Vettel woke up. It was now 10 a.m. Unaware of the clicks of a typewriter's keyboard. unaware that, just like Vettel, they too were being watched. They might not know the truth. Neither of them might. But we know, don't we, readers? Notes. Exit. Find the exit. I need to try again. I need to keep writing. The draft will save us all. The draft will doom us. Communication hidden. The fuck is going on?
What is it?
What
Did
the
this just turn into an ARG? I'm going to.
hell?
Oh
Hold
no!
on.
Oh,
Wait, hold on.
oh,
What is going
oh!
on? Oh, it's
That's
just the
just
NFC
the
invite.
invite.
Okay.
That's hilarious.
Okay,
That is gold.
that was goaded.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the fun part is like I've played Alan Wake, and so this fic does a really good job of capturing some of the energy of that game. So it's even though it's not actually a real crossover, it's more like it's yeah, it was heavily inspired by a lot of the same narrative ideas of like what is the will of an author, like what happens when the things you create turn on you, those kind of things. Very fun. Excellent game.
But is this over or is this not over?
It's not over.
It's not over.
It's a Jover. No. Is it Neurover?
Hey guys, we finished before midnight for me.
Yay!
Yeah.
We finished on time.
3.5 hours. That is a little less than I was expecting. Nice.
That's
Do I
And
see a
with this is
yippee?
not over, the competition is now over.
The competition's
But the voting, is it?
yeah, the competition's not
No, that's
over.
true. I still need to vote and
Yeah.
actually read a few
Remember
more
to
because
vote
I
for
haven't read
Neuro.
all of them.
I'm being funny. It's a
Oh,
bit
Vettel.
over.
I don't know if that one works.
Oh, no. It's a bit
We'll
over.
find out, and all that tomorrow.
Next
Tomorrow.
time on NFC.
Time on
That
The
works.
NFC reading Fanfic
Read
reading
along.
event.
If you didn't know what it stood for, you could just say like NFC Arena. I was like, what does that mean? I don't know.
Oh no,
Okay.
you're gonna put us in an arena? Oh
Guys.
no!
The next writing prompt is going to be Fight Club, and I'm here for it.
Oh
Gu-
no!
Guys, I just checked. We only have 18 responses so far for the award voting. There better be more. I am always like bothered when there's less than the author count. Less
They didn't
votes.
even bother voting. That's so funny.
Well, it's
I
also
mean, I
people
haven't
who
yet,
aren't.
but I
It's
planned
also
on it.
it's also people who aren't authors that vote. That submit.
Yeah,
a
it's like,
response.
well, come on, guys, what are you doing? Yeah.
What? Who is this? I just clicked on the list to see the list of people who have voted. I don't know who this is.
What?
The first name is Water in Fire.
Oh no.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know either.
I know everyone else. I don't know who that is.
That's so funny.
Also,
Well,
this just inundating an
alternatively, I guess it
AFC
could also
account.
be bringing people out of the woodwork who normally wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, I guess so.
Battle Royale IRL, you better all fight to the death in the Denny's parking lot. There's not even a Denny's near me. How? There is no Denny's. It's a myth.
The Denny's is real. That's funny.
The Denny's. Oh.
Let me go. I should go vote now.
It's just a neuro game.
I should go vote now.
Oh.
There were 3 fics out of the 8 today. That were the only fics I hadn't read. So now that I've heard them, I can go vote.
You can confidently vote.
Yeah. Bless you. Yeah, I can go vote. Not mod applications.
God, I might be
Vote.
cooked. Chat. I have to leave after this fanfic reading is over,
The fanfic
and
reading
then
is
take a
over.
shower, and then and then and then and then go to uni. I haven't finished my homework.
Oh no, go finish your homework.
I don't have time.
Oh no. Well, it sounds like you're screwed then. Just kidding.
I'm so screwed.
Alas, well, I shall see you guys on Saturday, most likely. Farewell.
Tomorrow
Tomorrow isn't
or
Saturday.
You
It
mean
is for me.
you mean see us in voice call?
Yes.
Because I was
I'll
like, I'm
hear
pretty
you
sure.
later.
So I was like, I'm pretty sure you're gonna talk when we reveal who wrote what and the winners of the awards.
Oh, for sure. Yes. I will talk in with my voice later.
Yes.
I will definitely be texting before then, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Especially, I'm really excited to see the guessing.
Oh
Apparently,
yeah.
Dice Cat's infamous
It's gonna
for
be
it,
quite
so
the guessing
yeah.
game.
He went crazy with it last time and guessed like 2/3 of the people correctly.
The fun part is that I only have one guess for one one person.
I know like maybe 3 or 4.
Nice. Okay. Alrighty. I'll see you later. Bye.
My.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go. I'm pushing it. It's almost 11. I have to
Okay.
leave in 30 minutes. Goodbye.
See ya.
Pog. Roar.
See ya later, Pie. What fic did I first read? That's a good question. Oh, you mean this read along was the first fic that we read this read along? Well, Emerald read 2. The second one he read was the Dawn one, the Marriage Dream one. The first one was another 3K award one. What was it? I already forgot. Let's see, voting. Ooh, this is tough, because now I have infinite votes for honorable mention. But I'm like, how strict do I want to be with this? And I guess I'll stop this recording. Thanks for watching, anyone who did. On Saturday, we'll be back to normal, just submission readings. And I'm going to try to increase the quality of the recording.